Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of Stiff Receipt. We're going to be talking about basically just everything that happened wrestling-wise in the past week, I suppose. Yes. But I think one of the big things of this past week that happened was the Jerry Lawler news.
Yeah.
That man...
That would have to be the biggest.
That man, it's kind of sad because, like, he went through whatever year it was, had the heart attack or whatever, like live. I think they were live on SmackDown or something.
Yeah, they had to take him to the hospital live.
Yeah, I think he like actually died, and they brought him back, and then he has a stroke at his home. I think they found him like in the driveway, if I remember reading correctly.
The story was that the neighbor found him face down in the driveway.
God, that's so fucked.
Basically out at that point. So they picked him up, called the ambulance, got him out, and apparently he's gonna make a full recovery though.
He had a major stroke, and like he couldn't speak or move very well. But then from what I've seen, like he's made quite a great recovery in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it's been basically everything that everybody said is he's gonna go through physical therapy and be basically good afterwards.
You know, it's still amazing. Like he was still wrestling. He's still actively going out and wrestling in places. 73. He's 73. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. I can't even imagine being 73 going out there and wrestling.
I'm gonna be
There's
real.
Not
like
a part of my body that wants to do that now. Why do I want to do that at 73?
Like he's obviously old, but I would argue that Jerry the King Lawler looks pretty freaking good for 73.
Oh, for 73 he looks fantastic.
He doesn't really look like a 73-year-old man by any means.
Oh no.
He's like a William Shatner.
60s, somewhere in there.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like William Shatner looks like he's like 55, but in reality he's like 132.
He's excessively old.
How old is William Shatner? He's 91. That's still crazy to me. He doesn't look anywhere near that old.
Off topic for that, he's doing a tour that's basically like I'm gonna die soon tour, and like reminiscing like about like the mysteries of the universe and talking about Star Trek. Apparently it's really good, but it's basically you guys ain't got much longer with me, and I understand that tour. Kind of sad.
It's what, like William Shatner looks better than Jerry the King Lawler does. He's 20 years younger.
Well, let's be honest. William Shatner started getting work when he was older, but it was like he started getting work when he was much older, so it doesn't look as off-putting. It's just like good work for somebody that age. And it's like, hey, you're all right, man. You're doing good. And he takes care of himself though.
He's not like most of those like older people like that in Hollywood where they've had like all kinds of fucked up shit done to their face.
Like I said, it's very tastefully done work. There's some other people that I'm like, what the fuck happened to you?
Like
Did you get hit with a frying pan? What is that?
I was talking about it yesterday. I found some random show. It was like where all the washed up American Idol people go. Dude, Randy Jackson looks Randy Jackson looks frightening. So does Simon Cowell.
Now.
Holy shit.
They're both just
Simon Cowell's face doesn't work anymore.
It's mostly plastic. It really is.
To be fair, Randy Jackson, I think his thing was he just lost a fuckload of weight and he's older. And so it looks kind of jarring.
It's weird. But yeah, I think you might be right about that one. But they're both off-putting. But Simon Cowell's is for a completely different reason.
He looks like a creature.
And nothing moves. Like, is that plastic over your face? Are you wearing a Halloween costume?
He's trying to frighten the children.
He's frightening me. He's doing a damn good job of it. Let's put it that way. But yeah,
fine. But Jerry Lawler went off on like a whole thing about everybody else.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
But the last update with Jerry was that he was out of ICU and he was going to return to his Florida home for outpatient rehab. His speech and whatnot is still limited, but doctors said that he's supposedly going to make a full recovery. That's wild. Yes. He's been through just all kinds of shit in his life.
I mean, it's one of those things where when you say that about old wrestlers, it's kind of awkward because it's like he's been through so much as an old guy.
Right.
Yeah, but then you hear stories about when they were younger, and it's like, oh, this is deserved. This is just karma. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, I think a lot of the dudes, especially in the wrestling shit, like pre 2005, basically. Anybody from pre 2005, I'm sure has stories about somebody being a complete piece of shit.
Just the worst humans.
Right.
They're all carnies.
It wasn't until like the mid to late 2000s where things started to clean up a bit.
So everyone's like, wait, we really have to stop everything that's going on right now.
Yes.
Because that guy just killed his wife and kid.
And that was coming off of Eddie Guerrero's death a year or two earlier.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that guy died. That's unfortunate. And that guy killed everybody. Oh,
that should have been the real turning point right there. Well, another thing that came out this week was that Mandy Rose said the WWE never approached her or gave her a warning about the. I'm assuming it was OnlyFans. Is that what she had?
I don't know what it's called. It's a different site. I don't know if she has an OnlyFans or if she's got something else.
Fan Time. She apparently claimed that nobody gave her any warning. So basically, from her explanation, was that she was contacted that she can't have the site, so she took the site down. And then after that, she lost the title and was fired.
Okay, I have a thing about that because I remember the story when it initially happened.
Yeah.
When she initially got fired. Everybody basically knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody basically knew. Nobody, it just didn't make any sense.
I think realistically, I think it's like, at least in my mind, I would imagine it'd be common knowledge that you can't have sites like that.
In WWE,
WWE, yes.
Like in AEW or any of the other independent places,
specifically WWE.
But because of WWE being basically a PG show,
right.
They're not gonna want even NXT is supposedly a PG show. So the whole point of that is if you're gonna have people that are there, people that are representing a PG show, you're not gonna want them on the internet taking their clothes off. If you do it, that's I mean, no one's judging. I'm not saying that, but like there's a definitive line where it's like, okay, this is too far for what our brand is.
Well, but she did. The thing about that she gets fired, but like, nothing bad came of it. If anything, she made off better because that first month she made over $1 million,
more money than she would have on the contract. Right. So, I mean, if that's all you're worried about, I think you're good. I think everybody came out all right in that one. It's unfortunate.
I don't think
she's really good.
I think she'll be back at some point. I think they'd be stupid. I know Shawn Michaels came out like specifically and said, it's like that wasn't my decision. I love Mandy Rhodes. I'm not the one who fired her. So,
well, no, and you can kind of. I mean, there's obvious people who did.
Right.
Who would have. I mean, but that's. From the top, there's a whole bunch of people that probably would have looked at that and gone, yeah, we can't do that. USA probably wasn't happy about it.
Right. And like, I know that we don't know like the full,
which is owned by Disney.
Like we got her perspective, obviously. Not saying her perspective is wrong, but
and the thing about that is I'm sure she didn't get a warning. And I'm going to say that that's twofold in nobody warned her and probably she should have gotten at least one.
Right.
I mean, one would probably be the best option in that, but it's also probably them thinking we shouldn't have to tell her don't be putting up porn on the internet when you're working with Disney, Fox, and USA who wanted us to be PG.
I guess the warning itself wasn't the fact, because they did tell her like, oh, you need to take that down, so she did. But I guess she was more so referring that she never had any warning after that she was going to get terminated. Like she thought, oh, all was good after that, and then they said, nope, bye.
So she got told to take. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. She got told to take it down. She took it down, and then she got fired.
Yeah, it says. She said. The request came from WWE Legal to take the link down, so I complied. Obviously, it came from work. Took Link down right away that night. The next day, when I lost the title, and then I got fired the following day. I never had any warning. I know there's a lot of news out there that says I was warned. I never did, but it could have been different for sure. That is verbatim what she said.
Well, I mean, maybe they're looking at that as there's a whole bunch of stuff in contracts. Like, there's people that came to, like, Chelsea Green shut hers down before she came to the WWE. So that was another thing where it's like, maybe,
as I said, for me, like, I'm, you know,
that doesn't make any sense.
Like, I'm not even,
that is shitty.
You know, I'm not even like I don't like just as an outsider looking in, like, I would even I know that is not gonna fly in the WWE setting. Like,
the creation of said
that's what confuses me as to why she did that to begin with.
Yeah, no, that, to me, I'm with you. That's the part that's astounding to me, is that you went ahead and did this. We all know that wasn't gonna work,
right?
But you did it anyways.
I don't know, weird, but I don't think she'll be gone forever. I think she'll be back at some point.
She'll be back at WWE or somewhere else at some point. But I mean, she's got a marketing thing now. It's like, do you really want me to shut it down? This is driving views.
Well, I mean,
if they're really into like not having her do that, then her
like, if she was smart,
spent somewhere else where she's going to be able to do it.
Well, even if she was smart, she would ride the wave until the wave dies down and then go back to WWE.
Yeah, but
well, that's if she.
At that point,
I mean, she could go somewhere else as well, obviously, but.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, at that point, that wave, if you're riding that wave, and then you're gonna go back, is that gonna create enough draw for somebody to spend the money on her?
I don't know. Like, how big of a deal is she?
If that wave has come down a little bit and is starting to dip, like that popularity on the internet and stuff like that, all those, you know, however they aggregated, if that's dipping at that point, is she marketable, or do you want to hit it at the peak of that?
Well,
because if you want to hit it at the peak of that, I mean,
I guess that's fair. I've not watched a whole lot of NXT. I don't know the extent of Mandy Rose's popularity. Like, I know that she was like women's champion for like over a year. So I know that's a big deal, but
champion in
do what?
I was trying to remember if she was in the main roster, because she was on the main roster first. Or no, she was on there and then she went to the main roster. She was on NXT, went to the main roster, went back to NXT. That's how that worked.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she actually debuted the same as what's her name? Dark-haired one that was the Authority on SmackDown. What's her name?
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, she debuted with Sonya Deville. They were like best friends thing, because they're like really good friends in real life. So like, they debuted then. They actually debuted, and their manager was Paige.
That's I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. They were a team. They called themselves. They were one of the first ones to go for the women's tag team champions. They were one of the teams for that, and they were Fire and Desire. So go with that. But yeah, she was also on Tough Enough. Huh. Weird.
Well, to keep us under the NXT umbrella.
Yep.
How do you say Ilja Dragunov? Is that how you say his name?
Ilja
Dragunov. He returned on NXT this week.
Yep.
So that'll be pretty exciting. But while I was looking that up, I just read something new that I didn't know. Apparently, JD McDonough had a detached retina in his match and is out of action.
Pardon me while I read. Oh my god. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, no, that sounds
unfortunate.
Awful?
That I haven't. I didn't even literally just now found out about that.
I didn't know that had happened.
I didn't either.
Kind of glad I didn't know it at the time. Kind of like Dijak.
It doesn't say, that too. I can't wait to get into that. He'd be out of action due to suffering detached retina at the hands of Dragunov. Is it... Now I'm wondering, okay, so it was caused by Dragunov. Now, is this a work? I feel like...
A bit much.
I feel like the fact that it's a detached retina, I think that's the part that's like... It's like, why would you...
No, that's a real
Of all
thing.
the injuries you could fake, I don't think you'd fake that. That's kind of a dumb one.
Yeah, that would be a little...
Oh, no. JD
like...
McDonough posted a picture of his eye. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. All right. It doesn't look great. So, he just says he's going to be out for 2 weeks, apparently. So, it's not that long. It's not a huge deal.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting. So, how unfortunate. Dragunov comes back, attacks JD McDonough, and... detaches his retina on his first night back.
Listen, JD McDonough's got a weird blockhead anyways. He doesn't need you bulging his eye on one side.
He does have an odd head.
He's oddly shaped. You know what it is? He's a full-grown man that's shaped like a little person. That's exactly what I think of when I think of JD McDonough. And it's the weirdest thing because he's not short. He's 5'10". So he's not like some tiny dude.
Yeah.
That's built, he's just he's all torso. He doesn't need his eye gouged out too, guys. Please don't hurt him, Ilya. Please don't do that. Damn, 2 weeks for a detached retina. God, I can't even. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, but before this NXT show, I forgot we had the pay-per-view last Saturday, wasn't it?
Yes. Vengeance?
Yeah, Vengeance Day.
Was it Vengeance Day or Vengeance?
Isn't that I feel like
whichever one.
The NXT pay-per-views are just the old WWE
right.
pay-per-view names nowadays.
No, you're right. It is. It's Vengeance Day because they did In Your House last year.
Yeah. They do Halloween Havoc as well.
Yes, they do Halloween Havoc, which I love Halloween Havoc. Are we going to get their version of, instead of being a takeover for their version of, what do you call that? WrestleMania? That it should be Starrcade since they're taking WCW stuff.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Call it Starrcade.
But that first match at Vengeance Day, freaking Dijak and Carmelo Hayes was so good. That match was incredible.
Oh, no, it was fantastic.
And they started the show with it. So it was like, damn. As I said, I'm not watching a lot of NXT, but I think that was like the best NXT match I've seen. It was incredibly good.
Damn good match.
And then all of the memes that have now spawned from that. Dijak broke his finger, and he's just been running with it. I
think it dislocated.
Well, regardless, it was not in the position that it was supposed to be.
Regardless, it was at a nice angle. Either way. And by nice, I mean disgusting angle.
He's been just running with it, though. I love it. All the memes and pictures and everything else.
The logo that's just the X-ray of his finger.
Yeah, I'll have to put that up on stream. I hope they use that. That needs to be his new like Titantron screen or something.
Absolutely, that needs to be the logo on the video.
It actually looked sick.
It does. It looks awesome.
And he also I didn't realize until the other day that jacket that he wore to the ring was a Jay Briscoe tribute.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That I literally I missed that.
I was like, damn, I missed it too.
Yeah. But that happened, and then I think another thing that to note from that pay-per-view, that tag title match was really good. It was wild.
It was all over the place and wild, and it was awesome.
Why did they give them the titles? I feel like it was a strange, because I feel like Gallus winning the titles was like a weird like upset victory, which is fine, but the other upset victory could have been Chase U, and they were in Chase U's hometown. So like, I feel like that was a weird swerve. If they were gonna do an upset like victory for new tag champs, why would they not have given it to Chase U instead?
I don't know. I kind of don't think that Chase U is one of those groups that gets that needs.
I don't think they need it either. But as I said, like I feel like it was a weird. If they were gonna do like a weird upset victory for somebody, I feel like it would have made more sense for them.
Well,
they could have had it for a short bit and lost it or something.
That wasn't quite as big of an upset though, because I think that Gallus had been around for a while, and
that could be. I don't know a lot about
one of them
Gallus.
Got hurt. See, I've just gotten into watching NXT as well, so it's not like I've paid a whole lot of attention.
Right.
I just know that Gallus won. I think they've been kind of going for some reason. I think they said that they one of them came back or something like that earlier, so like that was part of why it was a big deal, was because of him, like the guy coming back. But I don't know, that was the thing I was confused about with why that was so big or why they decided to do it. But I mean, they're a cool team.
Yeah,
I've gone back and looked at. And
I mean, all four teams did great. It was a good match. Like I was almost certain New Day wasn't going to win it, and I didn't figure Pretty Deadly would win it either, since they were like just the tag team champions. I don't think that long ago.
Yeah, no, that's who they got. That's who was won from.
Yeah,
is
the New Day.
New Day beat Pretty Deadly, which I think that was to get that off, because they would be really fun on SmackDown against, what is it, Maxim Male Models?
Right, and
know what they're called now.
It seems like they're. It almost, from when I was watching NXT this week, it almost seems as if they're going. They're using Pretty Deadly in like the gimmick that they gave Baron Corbin when he lost all of his money. Just like
where
they're all like
disheveled?
dressing, disheveled, and their hair's all fucked up, and they're just sad. It's like the exact same gimmick, but with them,
it works so well with them. I do like them as a tag team, and fun thing with them is if you ever see like public pictures of them, they live the gimmick.
Yeah,
super like that's how they dress 24/7, just ridiculous, just preening. You know
what I loved about that tag match specifically is all four of those teams were fucking tag teams. They weren't two people thrown together. They were all actual tag teams.
Well, that's the thing, is there's so many really good tag. Oh, okay. So I just realized what I was saying and how this might be going. So there's a lot of really good tag teams in NXT, and there always is.
Yeah,
there's really good tag teams. And what used to happen is they used to get handed over to Vince, and Vince would be like, "I like this guy more. Push him. Get rid of the tag team. Make him turn on him. We'll turn him into a heel." That's exactly what happens every time, and it ruined a bunch of tag teams. That's why we now have Otis, but we don't have Tucker in WWE anymore. And that was a fun tag team. Is Otis still good by himself? He's fun. Is he good with Chad Gable? Fantastic. Great stuff. But there was a good tag team before that.
Yeah. So. Well, I think really the only other thing of note from that pay-per-view was that the main event, they put on a great tag team match, or not steel cage match, I mean. Great steel cage match. I think they told, like, I feel like there was like good storytelling with the whole thing. And then after Grayson Waller lost, of course, like, let's be real, we knew he wasn't going to beat Braun Breaker for the title.
There was, well, I don't know, man.
I would have loved to have, like, I wouldn't have cared either way, but I feel like Braun Breaker won't lose the title until he goes to the main roster, and I don't think he's been on NXT long enough quite yet. If we're like comparing like averages of like people who have been on NXT and then moved to main roster, Braun Breaker's still like early.
True. But I also I don't know, man. I think you can move him up, but I
think you could too. But I'm just saying, given off of like the average amount of time I feel like most people spend. But the post match.
Oh,
So
Lord.
after Braun Breaker wins, they're doing their little like media conference shit that I guess WWE does now. But it's like Shawn Michaels is just chilling, like in an office doing like a Zoom call or whatever. And Grayson Waller just comes in there and raising a fuss, big stink, and saying all this shit to Shawn Michaels. Well, Grayson Waller got suspended because of it. It's obviously story, but
you know, just like the fight with
right, exactly.
with Braun. Just you know.
But what I thought was funny about that whole thing, it's like, oh, he's suspended. But it's like, okay, so he's gonna be out for a while. You know how long he was suspended for? 7 days. Like, it's like, why even bother?
So long enough to get back to
it's just like, oh, okay, so you spend him 7 days because you just don't have anything for him that particular week, and then maybe you guys figure something out for the next week. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So that was a little strange, but I figured he'd be gone longer. But whatever, I guess. And I think the last thing of note from NXT wise is the Toxic Attraction
it's
ending
definitely that.
at on Tuesday's show. Bailey did the ding dong knock knock shit, what is it called? The show.
I'm sorry. I try to block it out of my memory every time we talk about it or it gets done because I'm like, this is the dumbest name.
What is it called? I don't know.
Was it Ding Dong Hello?
Yeah,
Something
Ding
like
Dong
that?
Hello.
Oh my god.
She does Ding Dong Hello.
How is she the best and worst gimmick in
I don't
wrestling
know
right now? I hate everything she does, but it's done to a degree where it's like, okay, I'm supposed to hate this, so it's obviously working. But it's just, I hate it, all of it. Everything she does just makes me cringe.
I guess it would be of note before we talk about that segment. They had a match at the pay-per-view for the women's title, and it was Toxic Attraction and what's her name? Roxanne Perez. That's it.
Okay, I was right. There was a Gonzalez, a Rodriguez, and a Perez.
Oh, funny enough, her real name is actually Gonzalez.
Son of a bitch.
So I guess you're
I'm
right.
so done with my life. I'm so done right now.
But they had Toxic Attraction and Roxanne Perez in a triple threat match for the women's title. And I think that match went exactly how I'd expected. Like they did both the like teamwork to put one over on Roxanne Perez, but you also, since it was a triple threat match, you also had the moments where they were yelling at each other and betraying each other.
Yes.
I don't think you can do a triple threat match like that any other way. You gotta have both. Or else it's not
especially
exciting.
when it's like a tag team versus a chick. You have to like one person on one side and the tag team is the other, but it's a triple threat.
Right.
You have to have them turn on each other. You can only viably work. Well, no, you can work that with anything, but it only really makes sense with like a heel tag team where they'll just turn on each other, screw each other over.
Yeah.
I guess you could kind of do it with a babyface tag team, but it works so well with Toxic Attraction since they kind of like sort of are friends, but they aren't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It works better with them, and it was a really good match.
Match was great. I think the way they did everything was great. I really loved the when they because they had several moments when they were working together and several moments where they were yelling at each other, and they had that moment at ringside, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll do this. And then as soon as they say that or whatever, that's when Roxanne runs with a drop kick, and then was it Gigi pulls Jane, what's her name, Jace, Janie Jace or whatever her name is. God damn it, dude! These names, man. JC Jane. I had them backwards. She pulls JC Jane into the drop kick so that she doesn't get hit by it.
Yes.
But yeah, that was good. But that was the setup for the Ding Dong Hello thing with Bailey. And you know, they come out for the most part seeming like, okay, we're on pretty good terms. I think JC Jane looked a little bit more enthusiastic than Gigi Dolan did. She looked a little bit more angry, but you know they have this nice sit down segment. They talk, and then everything kind of wraps up, and it seems like okay, well they start talking. It's like, oh shit, are they gonna have are they gonna come back together, work together, and then go to the main roster and go for the tag team titles on there? We had like a brief talk about that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic because
it would be.
I mean, they're a great tag team. They're fun. They're good heels. It's it's a thing.
But what ended up happening instead, after everybody was happy and shaked hands and we're all good now, JC Jane decided to super kick the shit out of Gigi Dolan's face.
No, let's be honest. This is exactly what happened. JC Jane, Marty Jannetty, the fuck out of Gigi Dolan. It was the barbershop segment all over again. Everybody knows it. It's been used a million times. And it works for a reason. And it was fantastic. Except for when, she gets knocked down and is up against the door after she kicks her in the face.
That was the one.
And then JC kicks her in the face again. And it was supposed to, they thought the door would break open because they kind of, they gimmicked it a little bit, and it was supposed to open up and swing, but instead it just smashed Gigi Dolan's face up against the door.
I wonder, my thought process was when she did that, okay, the door opened the other way, and they knew that because they walked through the door before they sat in the chairs. So
yeah, but it kind of broke, and they had already looked at it. I mean,
it broke a little bit, but the thing breaking the door is Gigi Allen's head with Jason's foot.
Gigi Allen.
Gigi Allen. Gigi Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Gigi Allen. He made his ghost made an appearance in the match.
But the worst part of the part when Gigi Allen's ghost came is he shit in the floor. But it wasn't like
and then he rolled around
it. It was just shit. I don't know how that worked. But no, I mean, let's be honest, man. I've seen interviews with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. They're not stupid, but they're not geniuses.
That was pretty.
So they probably were
though.
Like, it's a stupid door, and I get it. It's a stupid cheap door. It should break.
Realistically, I don't think they had thought about that.
No, I don't.
I think it's like, okay, we'll do this. The door will break, and then we're good. But no, that didn't happen.
Because Gigi even said we thought it was gonna break. That was her comment. We thought it would break, but nobody was like, well, it opens this way. Maybe don't kick her head back through the other way because it won't open.
And her face was fucked up. I'll put a picture up on screen, but
she had tread marks on her face.
Yes.
Which is sad because she does have a pretty face.
But that's that's gonna be exciting. To see them two going
and
solo.
This is the old thing. You break them up, you make them fight each other, and they come back, and then they go to the main roster as an actual tag team.
Because if, as I said the other day, if WWE is going to keep the tag belts, women's tag belts, they gotta have some women's tag teams. Because they don't have any. There's literally none.
And again, that was another thing where it's like we move them up, we break them up. That's how that works. They didn't have tag teams at one point. And even when they had them, that's what Vince was doing to them, just breaking up tag teams because he gives zero fucks about tag team wrestling. You can see it. But it could work. I don't know if you would combine it with the NXT though, if that would work out.
I think that would be the cool way to do it, is to have one set of women's tag titles and just have it across all of the shows.
That was the original plan, if I remember correctly. It was supposed to be, and when Bayley and Sasha Banks had them in the initial run, they were going to NXT, they were going to SmackDown, they were on Raw. It didn't matter. They were wherever because they fought everywhere. But they gave NXT their own tag titles when they changed it to 2.0. So whatever. But I think it would be better served if there was just one set of tag titles for the women's like that, because there's not enough. There's just, by the way it works, there's not that many women's wrestlers.
There's less
Especially at
women's
that era.
wrestlers, so there's even less women's tag teams.
Exactly. Just against the pool of chicks that want to do it aren't that big. I get it.
But
like,
again, the only place that has the tag teams is NXT.
yeah, because they have a good tag
NXT
team,
actually
right?
has real men's and real women's tag teams. WWE
Yes.
just hardly has any of either. It's
yeah, and
frustrating.
those changed hands with Fallon Henley and Kiana James because Katana Chance and Kaden Carter lost them in NXT. Forgot about that. But yeah, no, that should be. They should have as many tag teams as possible. I don't know. I like the tag team wrestling. It's something for. Not everybody's going to be a good or going to be able to get pushed all the time. And
Right.
so yeah, you kind of have tag teams that come together, or just have them every once in a while do a tag team match where it establishes that they're a team on a regular basis. Something.
During Royal Rumble, they announced that Elimination Chamber is going to be. I think it's next Saturday. Actually, what day is next Saturday? The 18th.
Saturday's the 18th. Yep.
So, basically, since because it felt kind of weird, like they didn't really have a pay-per-view for over a month, like they almost like skipped a whole month, and then we had Royal Rumble, and then like Royal Rumble announced, oh well, we're gonna be having another pay-per-view in like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh okay, that's strange and abrupt, but all right.
Are we doing Fastlane again, or Revenge, or something like that, or whatever it is? Backlash. That's the one. It's WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's the one that goes after.
That's the one that's after. But that's the next 3 pay-per-views, or next 3. I'm sorry, premium live events.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's brand correctly for WWE. The next 3 premium live events are all going to be WrestleMania branded after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Because the next one usually is WrestleMania Fastlane, or they just call it Fastlane, but it usually has a WrestleMania tag on it. And then they have WrestleMania. Then they have WrestleMania Backlash.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, it is possible that they could skip, but I don't think that'll happen.
I'm waiting for WrestleMania SummerSlam.
WrestleMania SummerSlam. Which, hey, that reminds me. They actually announced that SummerSlam is going to be taking place in Detroit. I don't know.
That's a brave place.
It's a bold decision. I don't. When was the last time like WWE had like a major pay-per-view show like that in Detroit? Last time there was a pay-per-view in Detroit was Hell in a Cell 2017. The last like major pay-per-view in Detroit was the Royal Rumble in January 25th of 2009. So, but freaking basically since the pay-per-view was like so abrupt, like Raw was basically just like, oh, here we're just gonna just shit out like as many Elimination Chamber matches as we can because we're limited on time.
How many? All of them.
So,
fucking all of them.
We got the match I expected, but not with the people that I expected. We got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Judgment Day, but I was expecting it to be Dominic because I feel like that made more sense given the Rey Mysterio shit. But we got Finn Balor and Rhea instead of Dominic, which yeah. I'm not upset by any means. I'm down to see Edge and Finn again.
Finn Balor and anything is good. Edge and anything is
right.
Pretty good. And Rey always puts it down. But the first match of Raw was Damian Priest and Angelo Dawkins.
Yes, and that was for to determine who went into the Elimination Chamber, which is another thing. They announced that since obviously the world titles are a little tied up in probably the best storyline in the past 20 years right now. So obviously they can't have a Elimination Chamber match for it. So they decided
the championships are tied up in the best 2 storylines.
Yeah,
in WWE right now.
That's true. But obviously because of everything going on with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes and all that, they can't have an Elimination Chamber match for the world titles. That just wouldn't make any sense. So this year, they decided to do the U.S. title Elimination Chamber, and I
Which
think
is
that was a fucking great idea.
That's a fucking W is what that is,
And
because I like what they're doing with
right.
Fury, and I like what they're doing with that, and it's make it prestigious. It's the whole point of the Elimination Chamber. You got to be a badass to win it. So that's a really cool thing. I like what they're doing with the mid-card shit.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we had, I think there was just 2 matches on Raw, which were interesting, because we had Damian Priest and Angelo Dawkins, which Damian Priest won, so he's going on to the Elimination Chamber. The other one was Angelo Dawkins' tag team partner, Montez Ford, versus Elias. And
Montez won, didn't he?
Montez won. So it looks like Montez is getting a little bit more of a singles push, like we were expecting in the last year.
But let's be honest about that. They gave them fair shake for being pushed as singles guys.
Right.
Because
they
Angelo
put
got
them both
a lot of time with Damian Priest. And
both
really cool stuff.
Both of their matches were good, and they were pretty freaking lengthy.
Yeah, they were 11 minutes for Angelo and Priest, and 10 and a half, so almost 11.
Like, yeah, they didn't just shit these matches out.
No, they were decent sized matches. They were really good. The Angelo Dawkins one sticks out for me because he had the part where they was gonna hit Priest into the announce table, and he went over the announce table.
Yes.
That was fucking cool, but the whole thing was really good. And then, of course, Montez and Elias. Elias is good, and Montez Ford is awesome. So,
and I feel like a lot, like, what's kind of sad is, like, they replaced Elias with his brother, Ezekiel, right? And Ezekiel was like, the gimmick was, like, so dumb, but it was, like, a fun dumb, right? And everybody,
Elias is
it was
a fun dumb.
The story with Ezekiel was so great, and, like, with the Kevin Owens thing, it was so funny, and I feel like he was getting used, like, pretty well for, like, a bit of it, and then Ezekiel gets fired, and his brother Elias comes back. I gotta keep it in kayfabe, right?
Yes.
And then Elias comes back, and I feel like Elias has done almost nothing since coming back. So that was nice to see him in that match.
I mean, the coolest thing that Elias ever did was when he was by himself, and he was just every night he was singing a song, shitting on whatever town they were in at that point. That was fun. The other thing where he was kind of more serious was it. Who was it? Was it Elias and? Why do I want to say it was Elias, Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre? Why does that remind me of something? I want to say that they were all together as heels, and it was really kind of cool, and that was fun. But that was, for some reason, I think that pops into my head for some reason. That was about the only thing that was cool. Elias kind of isn't getting used right now, and it sucks because he's good.
One of my favorite moments from the night was after the Judgment Day and Beth and Edge had their little conversation. When fucking was that moment when Montez Ford like came up and with his little squeaky shoes and like jumped him from behind?
Yes.
That shit was so good.
It was so stupid. Oh, dude. Okay, wait. Also, on Raw, Asuka and Chelsea Green got 2 minutes because Chelsea Green is a comedy act.
Dude, her
Chelsea Green shit is hilarious.
So funny.
It's so good when she's yelling at what's his name. Oh, fuck, what is his name? Adam or whatever, the general manager.
I just watched that clip again of Montez Ford and Dominic. You just see him in the back. He's like scooting his feet across the floor. It's like squeak, 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 squeak. Just moving his arms around and just scares the shit out of him. It's so good.
I like that one. That was fun. Yeah.
But after all those matches have finished up, we now have a very awesome fucking Elimination Chamber match.
Hey.
We got,
Wait, which Elimination Chamber match?
The match itself. We got Montez Ford, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, and Damian Priest. That match is gonna be fucking awesome.
That's a W already.
Like,
somebody's gonna do something stupid in that match or get thrown through something, of course, because that's always a spot. But it's gonna look really fucking good. Man, when I look at the roster right now, it's like, damn, there's so many good people on this roster. This is gonna be fun if somebody lets them do stuff, and it looks like we're finally gonna get that.
Yeah, I think we're right now. I think we're at this turning point. Like, as you've mentioned several times, like Triple H is having to fix everything that Vince McMahon has done with booking. So it's like, I feel like now we're starting to get that. We're starting to get like things ironed out.
The end of the Vince era has been the most frustrating thing in the world because everybody can see the talent that's there. And either there was people that got kept around that Vince thought was great that maybe weren't as good as everyone else.
Yeah.
And there was people that were miles better than given the opportunity of, that Vince was like, I'm gonna get rid of him. And it didn't like make any sense. Like, who fucking gets rid of Keith Lee? Seriously. Who gets rid of Keith Lee?
Right.
Like, I don't get it. Got rid of Keith Lee. And I'm trying to think of who he kept at that point. And I was like, that person. Oh, you have Top Dollar. AEW has Keith Lee. Are you fucking with me? To be fair, later on, Top Dollar went and then came back. He can stay gone. I don't know. 2 years. Oh, the 2 euro line. Oh god, we'll talk about that later.
But to finish off Raw, they finally had that steel cage match that we didn't get at the Raw's 30 show.
To which Triple H looked directly at Dwyer and went, "Are you entertained?"
I would like,
you whiny bitch.
All right. That cage match I think was okay. I don't think, like, it was all right. Like, I feel like it could have been better. But what I hate these like dumb ass run-in shit. Like, just let the match resolve. They have to
get Lita in somehow. She wasn't at the Royal Rumble, so this is a good reason.
Lita interferes the match, and Lita interferes the match and sides with Becky Lynch, slamming the cage door on Bayley, and
letting Becky do the manhandle slam.
So now it's basically heavily rumored that. So it's not been confirmed, but it's almost more than likely going to happen that we're going to get Damage Control versus Becky Lynch, Lita, and a mystery third person. It is heavily talked about. I don't know if it's been like officially talked about that Trish Stratus is going to be on Raw Monday. And
I was going to go the other way with it.
And we're going to have Lita, Trish, and Becky versus Damage Control at Elimination Chamber. Allegedly.
Becky, Lita, and Nia Jax. That's what it is.
Hell no.
That's what we're getting.
That was a one-time thing. Let's hope.
Becky, Lita, Naomi.
Okay. That actually brings me on.
Might work.
That actually brings me on to something else. Yeah, obviously, like I think most of the things that have been talked about with Naomi, unlike Sasha Banks, is that Naomi. They were pretty confident Naomi was coming back. Well, all of a sudden, Naomi changed all of her social medias to Trinity, and like her bio just says just Trinity. So
she's now Trinity.
Right. So now it's not looking like she will come back to WWE.
Trinity.
I mean, she could, and maybe she'll just go like change her name, but I would say there's way more of a chance of her just not coming back.
If she's changing everything to Trinity, she's either not coming back to wrestling, which is very hard to think because she's good, and she seemed to enjoy it.
Right.
But the other thing is, I think Mercedes can get her anywhere at this point. So
yeah,
they're basically best friends.
Regardless of like what she does, she'll do well in whatever it'll be.
But Trinity going anywhere, if that's what her name, that's what she's going by now. Trinity going anywhere, she'll be welcome. People want her there. Everybody knows. Hell, like I said, she can go by her married last name, Fatu, which is gonna get her a whole lot of play all over the place, especially in Japan.
Right. Another small note was, Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss had that match at Royal Rumble. It was all right, but it was kind of like a setup for the spooky goth Alexa Bliss coming back. Well, Alexa Bliss is apparently taking a break. It's gonna be off TV for a while.
Yes.
So I wonder now. We'll probably, I don't know how long it'll be, maybe like a couple months or so. I'm hoping
maybe not even that long.
Well, if it's not even that, regardless, when she comes back, I'm hoping that we get like the spooky like vignette build-up shit before she comes back.
I want that, but here's another idea. They're switching a bunch of people back and forth between Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're doing, quote, the draft anymore.
See,
it doesn't seem like.
I hate that. I'm going to be real. I fucking love the draft. That was always like my favorite time of the year as a child. Even though it was
the draft
fake.
is incredibly. I mean, it's if it's into it and it's part of it and means something.
Right.
The draft is fun. It's cool.
But when you have people going back and forth to whatever shows, the draft is kind of meaningless.
No fucking reason, and everything looks like at this point they're just going to combine the two together, the two belts together, have that person go back and forth, which. Cool.
It's kind of funny how they keep doing like
the lower cards on the different ones.
How we keep doing this like over time,
over and over.
It's literally
kind of
the same shit.
It's okay. I get it, but it does kind of keep it fresh. It is kind of a gimmick now that they do it and kind of like they're putting them back together and I guess they're gonna make one belt. Whatever.
This is the third time now that I've seen this exact thing happen with the belts. Wild.
And that's just in the time frame that you watched.
Yeah.
Because they've done it, but like they didn't have A and B shows before, two different shows before. Everything was one, and then they had two. As soon as they split it, and then put it back together.
Let's say like they do like combine the belts into one belt. Like realistically, if they combine
on Cody Rhodes' waist, yes, I'm here for that.
Okay, well if they combine the belts, like there's I have two thoughts, right? We got Cody Rhodes. If he wins the belt, I think there's damn near 100% chance that he's bringing back the old Winged Eagle belt.
Or something in that vein,
right? Some kind of older belt or whatever. But the other thought is the last time they had the two titles and then combined them into one was the undisputed title in the 2000s. That was fucking gorgeous. It was a great looking belt. Well, maybe they can combine those two, the WWE and the Universal title, make a completely new belt that doesn't look like either one of those belts. I think I'm being too optimistic, but that would be great.
That would be. Now I'm looking at. I wasn't watching around this time. I'm looking at the Undisputed Championship.
It was the
let's do that.
It was a very short-lived belt. Like I think the only people who had it were Undertaker, JBL, Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle. I think were the only ones.
Maybe
John Cena. Well, John Cena, yeah, he had to have had the original Undisputed belt because that was the belt he turned into the spinner belt.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, this I back that idea because that is a very pretty belt. I like that one.
Yeah, it was a good looking belt.
Yeah, so definitely go for that, guys. Do something like that, dude. Just copy something that looks like the NXT UK belt.
Yeah, just use that. Just that design. Like that whole belt had the same exact setup as the world title, but the design of the plate itself was awesome.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just do that. Take the UK part out of it. Don't make it look like a crest like that.
Right.
Do something with the globe and the eagle on that. Do that kind of thing because whoever designed that belt in NXT UK knew what the fuck they were doing for a badass looking belt.
Right.
It's like, I want that. I want that belt. I would fight for that belt.
I think
Holy
all
shit.
the NXT UK belts were great.
All the NXT.
I don't think they had a bad one in the bunch.
The women's looked awesome. The tag titles
Well, I think
looked
the
awesome.
women's is the same as the WWE belts, where it was just like the same belt but with a white strap, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But another thing from Raw, that fucking promo with Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman was one of the best things that I have ever watched.
Fucking chills,
Like,
dude.
it was like so emotional. They were both just like, they were both in tears. And it was like, it was going one way, and like, you know, they had respect for each other and everything was great. And then like, you know, Cody Rhodes pulls him in and everything gets all serious and he talks about things getting personal. And shit, what did Paul Heyman say? What was the line that set Cody off? I don't remember.
Oh.
In my last call with your dad, he said that you were his favorite son. But there was he said something, and remember Cody Rhodes like approaches him and like gets real up close to the mic, and things get a little bit more aggressive.
He told me that you, Cody, were his favorite son.
Yeah.
But Roman Reigns is the son he never had.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes. And then Cody Rhodes like grabs him for a handshake, pulls him in, talks about making things personal and whatnot. That promo was fucking fantastic. If anybody goes back to watch anything from Raw, watch that. That was just fucking tastic. It was so good.
I'm gonna say this. People don't realize Cody Rhodes is really fucking good at promos, and a lot of people right now are still like looking back at Cody Rhodes in AEW, and that wasn't great. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes before that, at the beginning of AEW and before that in the Indies.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, awesome, fantastic. Cody Rhodes in WWE, he was still pretty good at the first run, but like Cody now, he's got somebody going, no, you can't do that. Cody was taking a lot of artistic license in AEW, and it wasn't working out.
Right.
He wasn't there yet to book, and he's out there able to then take whatever freedom he's got with the looser scripting between him and Heyman, and everybody knows those are two that can just talk if given the chance, and it works because Cody can talk if you don't give him too much. You got to give him just enough to let him off the leash a little bit, but you can't give him all the ideas because you end up with the weird Anthony Ogogo shit in AEW.
Yeah, I don't remember. Was it on the SmackDown before last, or was it on Raw when we got the Sami Zayn like Roman shit?
That was on Raw because that was the beginning of it.
I couldn't remember if it was on Raw or not.
That was the very beginning, I thought, because,
but
maybe not. Maybe that was SmackDown. I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember either because we didn't do a video last week, so we got to play catch up.
Stop reminding them we're bad at this.
But
it's not okay.
So regardless, because we haven't talked about it at all, it is confirmed. Which this is not. I wasn't expecting this. We got Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn for the undisputed title at Elimination Chamber. That is going to be very interesting to see because by this point, you know, Jay had walked out at the Royal Rumble. Literally, nobody has heard from Jay. Jay has not been on TV. He has not been around. He's not answering calls. Nobody knows where Jay is this whole time. Yep. And so things aren't looking good. And so we've got this shit here. We got Roman and Sami at Elimination Chamber. We've got the Bloodline all disheveled. Then we got Kevin Owens, who's part of this as well. That's, you know, we don't know what he's gonna do. And that is gonna be that match is absolutely, it's gonna be one of those, like, even if the match isn't fantastic, whatever happens storyline within the match or after the match is going to be absolutely like a must watch.
Agree.
It's gonna be a whole thing.
The whole angle is gonna be important for people to watch because it's just gonna be fucking amazing. It's gonna be slightly emotional for some people.
Yeah,
they might get into that if they're, you know, emotional people. Like, I'm a big baby, and I cry at weird stuff and dumb things, like I did through the Cody Rhodes Paul Heyman bit when he was
Yeah.
talking about his dad. That was rough.
It
always
was
is.
rough for sure.
But and oh god, the Mark and Jay Briscoe stuff.
Yeah.
That's killer. But that's gonna be an emotional ride for some people. It's gonna be fun.
I think
it'll have a payoff too.
This is I don't know. Like, when is the last time that you can think that the WWE was like people were this invested?
Undisputed era.
I think
Ruthless Aggression era.
Well, I mean, like specifically like a storyline.
Like,
I think
storylines?
Realistically, this is the most I think people have been invested in WWE since CM Punk's title run in 2012 or 11.
The Shield breaking up.
The Shield breaking up. That's another big one as well.
Again, wasn't watching at that time.
The other,
seeing the reactions of stuff, that was a big deal.
I guess another big moment that I can think of was Daniel Bryan becoming undisputed champion.
Yes, Daniel Bryan, the Yes Movement, and then Daniel Bryan coming back was a big thing too.
Yeah.
So those are big.
But like all of that's
goes, that's about all I can think.
But like all of that's spread over, like because the CM Punk stuff was in like 2011, 2012, I think. When was the Daniel Bryan winning the undisputed title?
It was after that.
Well, oh yeah, it had to be because that title didn't exist.
I was gonna say that was after
2016. It looks like.
That makes sense. Yeah, that should be.
But that's like. Because the CM Punk shit ended. I think he had the title for over a year, and The Rock took the belt, and
then he got fired on his wedding day.
Yeah, and
too fun.
Because that was such a long space of time, where like I can't recall anything particularly memorable. But
no, I can't either.
This right now.
I mean. Excited for storylines since then or before this. There's been one thing that people wanted. People are always into anything that Bray Wyatt does.
That is true. That's true.
So the first time around they got Bray Wyatt and it got ruined. The second time they got Bray Wyatt, it got ruined. This time they got Bray Wyatt, and I think it's ruined.
The thing
that elbow drop really did wonders.
The one Like this for me is absolutely the most invested I've been in WWE since 2011. Like when I started because we had the start of when I started watching back then, it was right before the CM Punk stuff, but it was right when Edge had to retire. He was forced to retire, and speaking of sad shit. The most sad thing I have ever seen is that promo that he had to give on Raw that following pay-per-view, and he had to place the vacated World Heavyweight title in the ring. Bro, I was just bawling like a baby. And then we had the run with Christian and Randy Orton, that whole thing. Christian had a couple World Heavyweight title runs, which was nice to see. None of them were particularly great, especially the first one. Second one was slightly longer, but it was still nice to see Christian pick up a WWE world title, especially how long he's been, associated with WWE.
See, I'm starting to understand why your capacity to put up with bullshit as far as booking and as far as like wrestling goes is far lower than mine, because when you grew up watching wrestling, it was actually pretty good. When I grew up watching wrestling, it was fucking WCW in the 90s. So it's like a whole other level of what the fuck are we doing here? Why is this match happening? Why was it only 2 minutes? Why did that one go for 15? What is this shit? That's what my entire wrestling existence was. Why did he poke him in the chest with one finger and he pinned him? Didn't they have the pay-per-view last night and he won? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. It was a time. So my threshold for what's bullshit and in booking and what's like not fun, much lower. I have a much higher threshold for that than you do. I survived Vince Russo WCW. I survived that, so I'm like, it's not that bad. I don't hate everything that's going on.
I get so far the only other Elimination Chamber match is the women's Elimination Chamber match, and that one, since Rhea Ripley's challenging for the SmackDown title at WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber, we're getting the Raw women's title, #1 contender. So we got Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Asuka, Natalya, and Carmella. I'm gonna be real. If we end up getting Becky Lynch, Lita, Trish, versus Damage Control, I don't know that I much care to see that, but I mean, I'll watch it.
Elimination Chamber for women has been really good recently. I mean, let's be honest. The women's wrestling in WWE has been really good recently. Yeah. So
I guess the other thing of note is the JBL Baron Corbin split. Like, what are they
can't polish a turd.
What are they gonna do with that guy? Like, I feel like he's just destined for failure at this point.
Fucking fire him.
They just can't seem to figure anything out with Baron Corbin.
You know what it is Baron had like 3 times where it was really good, his gimmick. He had a really good like run. And he's really good, but like they stuck him with a Happy Corbin gimmick and like sad Baron Corbin. Like that whole buildup has been the least interesting shit for me in the whole world. Yeah. And now I'm still like, I was like, all right, they put him with JBL. Maybe this will be fun. He just loses. That's all he does. That is his thing.
It's just annoying. Like, I feel like they could have had something. And like, I read something today where like they talked about like Triple H gave up on the Baron Corbin's push because it wasn't going anywhere. I'm like, what? Okay, you gave up on that. But like, why are we still putting Hit Row in matches? That hasn't flopped yet. The only thing that's flopped is Top Dollar.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, you made me a happy man. Fuck Top Dollar. Anyways, so Hit Row works as they're comedy bad guys now. You can't take them serious.
Right.
You could take them kind of serious when you had Swerve.
If you go full comedy with them, I think they could make it work.
You know what they do? They're rappers, right? You make them terrible rappers. But do it on purpose in a good way, and it'll be fun. Just make them comedy. You just deal with it. You don't have Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland has the scary version of Hit Row on fucking AEW right now. You got
Takeshi 6ix9ine with him.
White Takeshi 6ix9ine. Takeshi 6ix9ine wishes he was as large as that man. Man, I wish I was that big. That would be cool. Like, that's what he wishes. And then fucking Parker Boudreaux, who looks like if at a young age somebody had left Brock Lesnar.
He looks like Matt Morgan. Do you remember Matt Morgan?
Oh my God,
the blueprint.
Right. Yeah, the blueprint.
The real blueprint.
Do you know what it is? Parker Boudreaux reminds me of taking Brock Lesnar and putting him in the jail that Bane grew up in Batman. He just got tattoos all over him, and it's just like some of them aren't great. A lot of them are really good though, but like just tattoos all over him. He looks like he's straight out of a prison. He looks like him and the other guy look like characters from what is that fucking stupid video game? The Devil's Third with the stupid Russian guy. It was a terrible video game. But yeah, I don't know why you still have fucking Hit Row on
I don't know.
TV. I can't.
Like, I feel like that ship has sailed and sank, and we're still putting them on TV every week.
Again, I keep saying it. The Hit Row was Hit Row when Swerve was in it.
Now it's just Hit No.
It hit the fucking bricks somewhere else.
Hit the brakes on their contract. Send them home.
We're gonna release you for budget cuts. We suck, don't we? Yeah, you guys are awful. Get out of here. Fuck them. Whatever.
Well, on SmackDown we had another Heyman promo. It was Heyman and Sami. Sami was the typical like WWE thing where it's like, well, Sami's not here, blah 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 blah, and then yeah, of course he is actually there, and then he jumps in the ring, and to everybody's surprise, as if it was some kind of surprise. But kind of funny enough, I feel like the promo that Sami and Heyman did was like a watered down version of the same promo that him and Cody had on Raw.
I think that was on purpose.
Probably.
More than likely it was on purpose.
I mean, it was definitely not as good as the Cody promo, but it was still a good promo.
True.
But we had the continued like suspense and build up of Jay like leaving the Royal Rumble. Like we haven't seen Jay for
apparently
weeks
his
now.
brother hadn't seen him.
His brother hadn't seen him. He's been trying to contact him, and nobody's been able to get a hold of him. Nobody knows where he is. Things were looking like they were going to lose those titles.
We got to talk about that for just a second. He told Paul Heyman he had a plan. His plan was to repeatedly call his brother's cell phone, the same cell phone that brother has not picked up and talked to him all fucking week. And yet all you did was sit backstage and repeatedly call your brother. Don't you guys live next to each other? I'm pretty sure you live in the same fucking town.
The other funny note to that.
See him after all that shit. I would have been at his house. I'd have been like, "What the fuck did you do?"
The other funny note to that was like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I don't have a partner, and it's like hey, it's like yo. Hey man, you could come out there and you could fight for with me, and we could get this belt. I'm like, do you really want that?
Everybody,
do you really want Paul Heyman as your partner? Would that really add to anything to the match? I'm pretty sure that would hinder the match, Jimmy.
Even Paul's like, listen, I'm flattered, but this is
large
a
old
terrible
man.
idea. I am a very rotund individual. I breathe hard getting into the ring. I have to carry the belts and I'm wheezing. Do you want me to wrestle?
But we continue to have all of that with them not knowing where Jay is and how, and we got points from both, like Jimmy saying nobody was here to help me, and then Paul's like, well, where were you when blah 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 blah, and it's just we're still there was no Roman on the show at all, and it's like we're each week we're just seeing the cracks a little like more and more, and I'm just so excited to watch everything happen.
Well, I mean, just let's go ahead and talk about the end of it because it's interesting. I mean, he did come back and that wasn't even the end of the show. That was the end of the first hour.
That was another thing that I thought was strange. Like they had the tag team titles match with Ricochet and Braun Strowman. I'm like, for the love of God, like I would like to see them lose like one of the sets of titles, but not to them, please. And Jimmy comes out there, does his entrance, and then all of a sudden the crowd just explodes, and there's Jay walking out from the crowd for some reason with no music on. And he comes and they do the match. It was a good match. That freaking, I will say, like, I don't give a shit about Braun and Ricochet as a tag team. I just think that's silly. What I do love, though, is that move where Ricochet gets up on Braun Strowman's shoulders and does the swanton. Like, that shit is awesome to look at.
Oh, no, that one's really cool. I don't know. I like him because he's not like just some of the normal big guys that have done the tag teams. Like, I think Big Show and Ray did it, and then somebody else did it. I can't remember who the other people were.
Well, it reminds me a lot of how Keith Lee and Swerve were. Where it's like,
it's big guy, little guy.
Yeah, Keith,
it kind of worked.
Keith was like, he's a slower, like big guy, but then Swerve was like the more jumpy dude. And they had that shit where he would like jump off Keith Lee's chest. Like that shit was cool.
Here's why I like Braun and Ricochet. For one, it's kind of like a punishment for Braun.
Yeah,
because he said that shit on
Twitter. Yeah.
Kind of been a punishment, which is hilarious to me. But also, neither one of them is slow. Braun is stupid quick for being a big guy.
Right.
has a first step like no one's business to be able to hit somebody and actually have power and like throw them places. He like can throw Ricochet across the ring if he really wanted to. And Ricochet is just like, I don't know, a human bouncing ball. He just kind of goes wherever and does whatever.
Fast. He's Sonic the Hedgehog.
He is gonna drop off in health at some point in his life. He's gonna be in a wheelchair in his old age. I ran into Logan Paul. What? No, I like them,
dude.
I'm glad that they didn't win.
I'm looking at the match card. Frickin' Bray Wyatt and LA Knight had a dark match on SmackDown.
Yeah,
no DQ.
No DQ.
Why the
dark
fuck would that be a dark match?
You
guys made us sit through that fucking Mountain Dew ass match at the pay-per-view, and then you're gonna make the normal match a fucking dark match?
That's a dark match.
What the fuck?
That's stupid, right?
That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
I'm a little bit pissed about that when I'm looking at it too.
That's ridiculous.
Put that as a dark match. You know what you could have talked off here? You could have thrown Lacey Evans anywhere the fuck else but on the match card and instead have Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight.
Jesus Christ. It's like Lacey Evans has been like reinvented for the millionth time, and now she's just in these squash matches against these people that we've never heard of ever.
We're on number 3 as far as reinventions because she was the sassy Southern Belle when she was like the Southern chick that didn't like nasty women, whatever. It was a stupid gimmick.
It was dumb.
But it was more fun. It was still more fun. And she was kind of a threat. And then she reinvented herself into babyface. We all thought it was going to be a babyface gimmick. And then it got warped into now she's a heel that does the Cobra Clutch.
Yeah.
Who cares about the fucking Cobra Clutch?
I don't know.
It's a fucking passing move at this point. It's stupid. And like, I just don't care about Lacey Evans. She has a look. She's incredibly pretty. She's very athletic. She's a pretty good wrestler. Every gimmick sucks. It's all bad. No good.
Yeah.
Just don't care. We got to find something, and this is not working.
Well, I think the most important thing that happened this last week, I think we can all agree, is that Madcap fucking Moss has a new pair of pants.
Yeah, he's not default wrestler number 4 from SmackDown versus Raw.
He finally ditched just the plain black jobber gear, and he now has actual wrestling gear. He actually looks like not a jobber. I'm impressed.
He has green and silver jobber gear.
He
Wrong.
did it.
It's still jobber gear.
Well, it's not plain black, so I'll give him that at least.
He won.
And yeah, they had this fatal 4-way match: Karrion Kross, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and Madcap Moss. It does seem like they're pushing Madcap Moss and Santos Escobar like a lot. And
yes, that's been good.
Madcap Moss was a little unfortunate because I feel like he was doing good. I liked the shit he was doing with Corbin. I loved how all that played out.
I wanted to blow my brains out every time in Minecraft. I wanted to be anywhere else but watching the television with Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin.
I liked him
to be anywhere.
Like I liked them like together, and I liked how that resolved. But regardless, after that, Madcap Moss
bullshit isn't as low as I thought it was.
Madcap Moss has been
much lower.
Madcap Moss has been lost, and since then, he's had like basically no purpose. And then he was announced as an entrant in the Royal Rumble, but just never was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's still funny. Like, he just never came out.
Yeah. I wonder who replaced him.
Nobody, remember?
No, somebody had to have replaced him. Nobody replaced Ray. But Madcap Moss wasn't actually in the Rumble at all. Like, his music never played or anything. Somebody had to have replaced him.
Was it Booker T?
You know what? I bet it was Booker T.
It was, because that was around the time he's supposed to come out, and we were like, he didn't come out, neither did Ray. But Booker T came out.
Can you dig it? Which, hey, that's something else. Booker T and Batista both officially announced that they will never wrestle again.
Booker T, you were part of that bullshit brigade of WCW with your brother. You were fantastic in Harlem Heat. You were better by yourself, and you were better by yourself in WWE.
Yep.
And you were even good in TNA.
Yeah,
How
I
did you
forget
pull
about his
that off?
TNA run.
How did you pull that off? But either way, Booker T was fantastic.
Yeah, I think Booker T has always been like pretty
sad
great.
to see somebody like that go. By Batista, I don't know.
Batista was great. Like Batista was like the
He's never
a little bit later
made
on
me
when I
give a
was
shit
when I
about
was
him.
watching, because like that was the thing. Like when I was watching back then, we had like Evolution was formed. Like when I was watching.
The last thing that I cared about that Batista did was Evolution.
Like Evolution was so awesome for both Randy and Batista.
You are absolutely correct.
And they both, I don't think either one of them would have succeeded as well as they did without Evolution. But yeah, Booker T and Batista supposedly fully retired now. I mean, it's not surprising. I know, like, what'd you say how old Booker T was when he, like, fucking 57 or something?
Yeah, he's...
That's just crazy to me, because he doesn't look anywhere near that old. And then Batista is... Batista's 54? I didn't know that. I thought he was in, like, late 40s. Jesus.
No, he had been around
He's older than Triple H.
Yeah, he had been around a while. Before that...
I had no idea.
He had been in the South doing stuff for a
That
little
makes
while.
a lot more sense now why he's retiring. I didn't realize he was that old. That Fatal 4-Way match. Madcap Moss wins, which is kind of exciting because I like Madcap. It seems like maybe they've finally figured out what to do with him. What was the deal with that? That was the Intercontinental #1 contender, right?
That's what that was. Yes.
So
and
we're getting.
He's gonna be up against
Gunther.
Gunther.
Which is a huge fucking deal as far as I'm concerned, especially.
It is a big win.
Like Gunther has he's been the big shit since winning that belt. Especially with his Royal Rumble performance.
Do you take the belt off of him anytime soon? And if you do, where do you take them off at?
You don't take Madcap. Sure as hell ain't doing it. I think right now, I think I hate to almost say it because I feel like it's happening too much right now. Especially with like the world titles and tag titles, it's like, do we do a run where he becomes like the longest reigning Intercontinental champion? Like, I don't think we need that again.
No, we need to give him a good long one because
just give him a long one, but I don't think we need it to be. Yeah, the longest Intercontinental Championship reign is 454 days. Gunther,
I don't know. That's easy to do for him.
Well, Gunther, as far as I know, he's already the longest like reigning champion in like the past 10 years or so. Oh no, Gunther is actually the longest reigning Intercontinental champion of the 21st century.
Oh, he's at 245.
So yeah, so he's already achieved like more than anybody else at this point.
Okay, so you do maybe at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. Who do you take it? Who takes it off of him? That was the thing.
Do you have an idea? Do you have a thought on that?
God, Baron Corbin, obviously.
Oh, Baron Corbin's always fine.
He's doing so well right now.
He's a former champion. He can get away with it.
Dude, what if they got another, like an NXT guy to come over and take it?
I don't know if you automatically give him that, though.
You give Carmelo Hayes.
I kind of want Braun to come up a little bit and Carmelo Hayes to get a little bit up a little bit. You want to build them up a little bit more on there.
Yeah.
Because the crossover between NXT and WWE's and main roster is weird. Yeah. Because there's a lot more older people watching main roster. So it's a little bit more of a stepping stone. The crossover is not quite there. I don't know.
You could do Solo Sikoa, but I feel like that would be kind of
Sikoa would be a good one.
I think that would be kind of weird to do if they're trying to break up the bloodline.
If he's got to get past that.
Yeah.
And then
take
Solo
it.
Can
right.
Go for it. Yeah.
LA Knight could take it.
LA Knight's a good one.
I don't think like Bray Wyatt. I don't think would be.
You don't put a belt on Bray. He doesn't need a belt.
He wouldn't be and he especially wouldn't be in the mid card belt area.
I think that's the only belt you could conceivably put on him because we've already tried a big belt and it doesn't work. So if you're gonna put a belt on him,
yeah, because he turns into a fucking mask.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyways, no, I don't think he's a specter. He's a he's a supernatural gimmick. You don't put belts on supernatural gimmicks unless it's the Undertaker, and that's because it's the fucking Undertaker,
dude.
But you don't do that. My guy for you, not supernatural, but it's supposed to be psychological. Karrion Kross.
Okay, that would be a good idea. I see Karrion Kross as like he should be in the main event scene, even but he's not. Realistically, he's not there.
He's not there yet. He's gonna get there.
That would not be a bad idea, though,
because you can move Gunther up too, okay, or you can do whatever you need to with Gunther.
Yeah,
but you can make him get weird with all this stuff with Scarlett and have him somehow just negate the other two guys in Imperium, so that they're not involved in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and then it could work. I think it would be a good one. That's who I would book to take that off for Gunther.
I think my pick would probably be Solo, but it as I said, it would have to be later, until after everything is gone. I'll tell you what I would like to see. Not see him off the belt, but match wise, I would love to see, because this is kind of like this is like a ruthless aggression fan like dream match. Gunther versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin was the previous longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of the century.
244, sir. I see that right.
Yeah. And Shelton Benjamin, it pisses me off how unappreciated he is. His run after he left the Kurt Angle's World's Greatest Tag Team shit with Charlie Haas, after he left that and started...
Or Charlie Haas.
Yeah. After he left that and started doing solo shit, dude, Shelton Benjamin was the shit. He was literally like the Ricochet of that era. He wasn't quite as, flippy and wild, but he was great. He was so good. I would love to see Shelton Benjamin and Gunther in a match.
That would be cool.
That would be a neat dream match. I don't think Shelton Benjamin should take the title off of him, but I'd like to see the match happen.
Well, I do remember every once in a while flipping on stuff and seeing Shelton Benjamin. And I've gone back and watched. Shelton Benjamin's fantastic. And some of the stuff he's done recently has been fun too. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. It's a good idea, actually.
As I said, back then, it was when you had the Money in the Bank ladder match, it's just like how you have Kofi it has to be in the Royal Rumble match. The Money in the Bank ladder match, you had to have Rob Van Dam or Shelton Benjamin or both. You couldn't do it without them, because they were the star of that match.
Aren't they? Isn't Shelton Benjamin back on with what's his name, Cedric Alexander?
I don't know. I haven't seen Shelton Benjamin in anything in forever. Hang
on, I thought I saw that. Where's that at? Yeah, and on Raw, it was they actually beat Alpha Academy.
Dude, I do not remember that match at all.
Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin went
literally
455.
Literally don't even remember it. Oh no.
Yeah. I know, it's already becoming a thing, man. They're all blending together. Oh shit. No, but yeah, that was I was gonna say they just had that. And it was Monday night. That was the tag team champion, or the tag team match that was in the middle of the show. So yeah, they're doing something with him at least, but that would be a cool one. I don't know, man. I think we kind of covered that, but
yeah.
One thing I would like to cover is Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in a no disqualification match.
What the
that was
fuck?
a dark match, you bastards.
I can't believe that. I wonder if I can watch that. Bray Wyatt, LA Knight dark match. If I can find that, I'm gonna watch that later. There was a couple things that weren't directly wrestling related that were WWE related, and in regards to the selling of WWE.
Oh God,
several people. I mean, it's not a surprise by any means, but several people several companies or whatever have pulled out of the run to purchase WWE because of Vince McMahon's return. Which, I mean,
including
I think
the one that
is expected. Comcast,
including the one that everybody thought was going to be. It was either Comcast or Disney, and both of them went. Never mind.
But there was one people that haven't pulled out yet, and that is Tony Khan and his dad. They're still interested in buying the WWE.
Oh
and just like it's not gonna happen. I need to get that out of my mind. It's not gonna happen. But what if it did?
The only two groups that are actually going to be like in the running are fucking Tony and Shad Khan or the Saudi royal family.
Right.
What the fuck is this
and
shit?
like, let's be real, Vince McMahon would absolutely sell to Saudi Arabia out of spite, just to not give the Khans WWE.
There's no way in hell I'm letting them have it. I can't have it. They're gonna pull a WCW buying angle. I know it.
Dude, I think we've talked about it before. It's like, if we had the exact reenactment of the WWE episode where they announced they bought WCW, but it was like reenacted as the Khans and AEW buying WWE.
And in the words of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Jeff Jarrett, you're fired.
But it is, Vince McMahon did say, allegedly, or I don't know if he said it directly, but it is planned to, after the sale, he plans on stepping down. And you know, Vince McMahon, his word means everything, right?
Well, here's the thing about that. After the sale, he's going to step down. After the sale, he has no choice. He's not going to own the damn thing anymore, so they're going to be like,
all right,
go away.
I guess that's wanted that information out there so that they would know, hey, I mean, I'm here, but you buy us, I'll leave, I promise.
I promise, guys, it's gonna happen.
Another thing that I'm thinking about, off the top of my head, I watched the Sami Zayn interview the other day. It was a like an actual like shoot interview. He was talking. The question he was asked was like, "Do you see yourself as a world champion guy?" And Sami Zayn like said, or he said like, "Could you be the guy to hold the world titles?" And Sami Zayn said, "Absolutely, I could no problem be the world title guy. I could hold the world title." But the thing about that is, he said that he is absolutely could never be like the face of the company guy. He couldn't be a Cena or a Roman or a Rock, but he could hold the titles for a while. He would just never be the face. And like, I think that's a fair assessment. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but I don't think, even if he had the title, I don't think he would ever be seen that way. Because that's just how WWE is. He's not the guy. He's not the type of guy that WWE likes, you know?
He's an incredible wrestler. He's a nice person. He could be a face of WWE, which he kind of is, because he's a charitable person. He's got his own charity. He takes care of, displaced kids from Syria and stuff like that. So, like, that's huge, and people love him for that. But as far as like what people think of as a wrestling champion and what the face as a wrestling champion is, it's not Sami. It's like,
it's not. And like,
people think of,
especially
Hulk
WWE.
Hogan.
Like, when you think of
Hogan,
when you think of WWE, you know, like
The Rock.
Hogan, The Rock. Well, you know, like Stone Cold. But like, you think of like the bigger guys, like look at Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, fucking John Cena. You know, Lesnar,
a lot of
Lashley.
them are a little more clean cut.
Right. They've got the look, and Sami doesn't, and that's exactly what he says in that interview.
They do have that look, and he's also never gonna be that guy, but that's fine.
Right, he doesn't need exactly. He doesn't need to be that guy.
Sami is Sami. Sami's always been Sami. Sami was El Generico, and he was amazing as that because it was a ridiculous gimmick. And then Sami, when I started seeing him, was punk Sami with the fucking, cap on his head, dancing around to his ska entrance music. His ska punk entrance music.
Yeah,
was awesome.
Fucking hate his entrance music. I'm gonna be real.
His new entrance music is unfortunate.
I don't like any. I don't like either of them.
Oh, dude, the old ska punk one worked really well because people sang to it. It was great.
Right. I don't know. It just doesn't have any hype for me at all. But
you weren't there, man.
Well, that's true.
Damn it.
I wasn't watching a whole lot during then. I think when I started getting reinvested, I still wasn't watching the shows, but I was buying the games. And during that period, that's when Sami was still in NXT.
Yeah, and Sami in NXT was good, and he had the NXT championship, but Sami on the main roster was fun. Sami in NXT was fantastic, though. It was just different. I like Sami Zayn's music.
I think
it worked better in the stadiums.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. What if, like, this ain't gonna happen? But what if he somehow wins those titles at Elimination Chamber?
We riot like we had already planned on if he loses.
It's like,
because now it's a happy riot. It's like when a hockey team wins the championship.
Yeah.
They just start flipping cop cars and lighting trash cans on fire because they're like super fucking pumped.
It's the problem that sucks is, like, he ain't gonna win, and if he did win, that would absolutely screw up WrestleMania. Like,
No, but
I don't want to see Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. I want to see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
And I want Cody to win, and I want it to be decisive, and I want it to be a thing. But the whole point of Sami right now is Sami actually found a friend on the whole bloodline, and it was the one that hated him first.
Yeah, and
so that's a big deal.
That's another thing. After they won the title match, like Jay did come out, and they end up winning. They worked together, and at the end, you're thinking, okay, well, he's back. And like he says, Jimmy asked him, he's like, "So are you back and whatnot?" He's like, "I don't know, man." And then just kind of like he walks off.
He says, "What are we gonna do about this bloodline thing?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "I don't know."
And then he just walks off, and that's all you hear of it. So like we're still like, he's still not convinced. He's still not like decided on what he's gonna do. And I guarantee you that is going to play into that title match, and we'll get like a full turn.
Well, no. Did you not see all the stuff that happened on SmackDown with that?
Like what?
Well, there was that part where he walked away.
Yeah.
There was another part where he was walking out and talking to
Paul,
and Sami stopped him.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. I saw that too.
Or Jay.
Yeah.
I mean, he stopped him and basically was like, I recognize you, and did the fist bump thing.
Yeah, he said that I acknowledge you, Jay.
I acknowledge you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was, recognized. Fuck, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And then after that, at the end, that's when you got Paul coming up to Jimmy and saying, and then Roman wants you at home for the Elimination Chamber match, or for the Elimination Chamber instead, because he wants to see that you have, or that you can get a different perspective, see things differently.
Yeah.
From home, which is kind of saying that, the thing that where the cameras were there when Sami and Jay were talking, but they talk like there's no cameras there. That means that they're kayfabing that there was cameras there, and they still talk shit like that. The fuck is that? Like, that makes no sense. Either we're catching stuff that nobody knows about, or they don't know that they... But I hate those segments. I hate those segments where it's supposed to be that nobody's around, but cameras fucking happen to be here.
It's like
and
watching,
then the commentary says something about it.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect Jimmy to say that. Shut up, Corey. Shut up. Do they know that cameras are there, or do they not? Is there a camera? I don't know. This is stupid.
Well, in non-WWE news, I think the biggest, I think probably the biggest thing that happened with AEW was the MJF promo. Everybody and their grandma has been talking about that. It was a wild ass promo.
That was a wild fucking promo.
Very, very strange. It was,
that
in fact,
went places.
So many people were convinced that what MJF said on TV that was real. That over 300 phone calls were made to that police station to report MJF for admitting to a felony on live television. What the fuck is wrong with these stupid people, dude? How are we living in 2023 and we're still believing anything that comes out of a wrestler's mouth is the truth?
Are we believing anything that comes out of MJF's mouth?
Especially MJF's mouth.
Okay, not only because he's a wrestler, but because of the character his wrestler is.
Oh my God, that shit is so funny.
Anything that came out of his mouth. My favorite tweet from his is, "I just got another call from the police department."
If I get one more goddamn call from the police department.
He called everybody fucking narcs. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. That was the best promo. He got a blowjob reference in.
Yeah.
He called the chick Liv, and then the punchline was the best.
Yes.
Oh, it was so good.
It was incredibly good. And then on top of that, he also had an incredibly good match, which the big thing with MJF, but it's part of his character. So I don't know why people are complaining about it. MJF barely wrestles, and when he does, there's these short matches. But like that's part of his whole gimmick right now. But he wrestled a fucking banger, and it wasn't no short squash match either.
No, it was a good match, and I'm sorry that he's got the whole fucking business figured out already.
Right.
He is this is the thing about MJF, and it sounds like just gushing over MJF and being a mark. Yeah, I'm a fucking mark. Okay? Because the thing about MJF, he really is that guy he says he is. The generational talent,
right?
That guy that's got it figured out at such a young age, and he's just the best at everything because he does. He's smart. He has it figured out. He knows how to keep himself A, healthy, and B, relevant.
Yeah.
And those are the only things that he needs to be able to be MJF.
And that was for the title, wasn't it? Wasn't that for the title?
It was one of those eliminator things.
Oh, okay.
Where they wrestle for the chance to fight for the title.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an eliminator, but Konosuke Takeshita, is that what his name is? Is that how you say his first name? Hang on a second.
Konosuke Takeshita?
Konosuke Takeshita.
I don't know. That's how it reads to me, but I don't know how to say it.
But he did make fun of it that one night by calling it "Take a Shit."
Yeah, I remember that too. God, MJF has just continued to be so fucking good.
He is the perfect heel wrestler.
He's the best thing that wrestling's got right now.
He is everything he says he is. Absolutely unironically the best. I'm so happy.
Amazes me, like these people that are bitching and whining about him not wrestling and blah blah blah. Do these people just not remember, like, the first Dynamite after he won the title? He said verbatim, "I'm gonna be the champion that does nothing and never wrestles matches," or something like that. He literally said that, and then now everybody's complaining that he's actually doing it. Like,
he
bro, like that's what he said he was gonna do.
Here's my question for everybody: in the lead up to him fighting for the championship or him winning the championship, every other thing that he's ever been involved in, how many times has Maxwell Jacob Friedman actually wrestled on Dynamite or anything else in AEW?
Yeah.
Go and add up how many matches that man has had on AEW and then put it up against, I don't know, we'll just put it up against Bryan Danielson at this point.
Yeah.
And see how many he's wrestled since he's got here and how many MJF has wrestled since the beginning of Dynamite, and I guarantee you they're about even at this point. Because that's MJF's gimmick. He's a lot of talk. His character is supposed to be a lot of talk, and yes, he is a good wrestler, but he always takes the easy way out because he's a lot of fucking talk. So why would you make him fight if all he does is a lot of talk? He just talks. That's the whole point of the fucking character. I don't get why people are all of a sudden now bitching that he got into a point where he can coast, and as a character, he's coasting, because that's exactly what MJF would do.
Speaking of Bryan Danielson, just a random thought that I had. I was watching an interview with Seth Rollins the other day, and they asked him what his Mount Rushmore wrestling is, and he said, "Well, there's basically two. You have like the Mount Rushmore wrestling, and then you have like the draw, like the box office draw, like people, and the draw one, like the big guys. That Mount Rushmore, he said, was The Rock, Hogan, Cena, and Steve Austin, and like that's fair. That makes complete sense
For draw.
And then he goes the in ring list, like the wrestling in ring Mount Rushmore: Eddie Guerrero, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Which I 100%. The last one, he said Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
And I was like, shit.
100%.
I mean, I agree as well, but I just, when you think of like the greatest of all time, you
actually
usually
would put all those. Those are good names for one, though, for what he's saying. Absolutely. Right. No, I mean that makes sense because
it's weird
Shawn
to see like people
think he is. He's just lazy.
It's weird to see people like new in like the newer era, like Danielson being compared up against these like legends of the past.
But Bryan Danielson has such a body of work.
Yeah,
because he's such a work rate guy.
Yeah,
and he's got so many things from stuff that you see in Japan when he was in ROH to ROH itself, things in the Indies before that. He's got this whole body of being Bryan Danielson, and it's consistently good. Even in the weirdest, dumbest gimmicks he's ever had, still fun.
He was in a match.
Yes.
With Roosh, and he didn't show up. And then it cuts to his ass. He's in, I don't know, it looks like he's in like a storage closet or something. And then really drill the door shut so that he can't get out. And then MJF comes out for the second time. He's like, ring that bell and start counting.
Yep.
And they're just trying to get through that fucking door. And then he finally gets to that door and just barely makes it back into the match before getting counted out, and then just puts on a banger match with Rouge. I feel like AEW really likes just announcing all of their shit like right before the pay-per-view.
As quickly as possible in a span of about 10 to 15 seconds.
Literally from what I can tell.
By Excalibur.
Yeah. The only match that has been actually officially announced that I can tell is MJF versus Bryan Danielson in an Iron Man match.
I mean, we kind of have stuff. I mean, we have the Danielson stuff. We're gonna get, is this number 3 or number 4 for Hangman versus Jon Moxley?
I'm honestly not sure. Rampage. The Blackpool Combat Club got the win over Butcher Blade and whoever. Kip Sabian.
Oh, that's right.
So I would assume that we're gonna have a trios title match, the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club at some point. That could be a pay-per-view match for the titles.
I like that.
But I feel like that would give Hangman nothing to do. So it's like, do you have that before the pay-per-view and then have the Jon Moxley Hangman like get done at the pay-per-view, or?
I don't know, man.
Because if you don't do that at the pay-per-view, then one of the Elite is going to do. Because I think the Elite here, as of late, nothing that they've done has been hyped up. It's like the match, they did that series of shit, and that was all hyped up and whatnot. And then ever since then, it's just been kind of nothing. I know that Kenny has had like visa issues, if I remember correctly.
Those are cleared up now.
Yeah, those are cleared up now. But like, I know that was a thing, and I'm sure that was keeping them from doing stuff. But
that's why we got the random tag team match with the Young Bucks a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like everything's been kind of underwhelming with that so far. So I feel like they need to have a big match at the pay-per-view that is meaningful. And I think that would be, they could get something, if they get the Blackpool Combat Club to start feuding with the Elite leading up to the pay-per-view and then have this big match, like that'd be pretty sick. I'd be down. But as I said, that leaves Hangman, like what does he do if that happens at the pay-per-view? I mean, I don't imagine you'd want to leave Hangman out of the pay-per-view.
I don't know what you do with the Elite at this point.
Right. I think
Trios.
I think that whole situation is kind of fucky right now.
Yeah, that one's weird because there's nothing like they got the whole trying to get their belts back thing.
Yeah.
That they did.
And then they got their belts back, and it's just like, okay, well, now what?
Okay, yeah, what do we do now? I don't know. I mean, we can face Top Flight and AR Fox. I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that was a cool match.
It was a
what
good
else are you
match,
gonna
but
do?
like,
no one gives a shit. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I can't think of anything that anybody cares about. You know what everybody cares about when it comes to the Elite? Hey, what's Punk doing right now?
right.
Like, that's the only thing that anybody cares. Is he coming back to make money? 'Cause
Which
if he came back to make money, that'd be really cool. It's
Which
like,
is-
are you really gonna care?
which is why which is also that leads into something else that I've written down. So, Punk is in 2 months is free to come back if he so chooses, or if he's allowed. Right. The reports seem to be heavily in favor of him, at least in, months ago, just taking a buyout of his contract. But if he didn't do that, technically, like, he is under contract to AEW and could return after his injury in like a couple months or so. I think now there's a way bigger chance of that happening now than there was, 6 months ago. But again, let's say he does come back. What the fuck? What do we do now? Like, we've got this shit with MJF and Danielson. Like, I guess if I feel like the only thing they could do is like if Punk came back and we restart that feud with MJF, and then that builds up to another title match, and then have MJF win. Like, I don't know that you could do anything else, because I don't think you could do like a full-blown reset, because everything that happened is too ingrained in everybody's mind.
Will anybody care that he's doing the whole I'm going for MJF thing? Because everybody was kind of invested in that when it was going on.
Right. That's we did
true.
that, and it didn't. We got that match. That dog collar match was fucking great. Loved it. But like, and that was the thing I was looking most forward to, was the eventual, like, CM Punk won the title, and then we were gonna get the MJF CM Punk shit, and then we were gonna have MJF take the belt off CM Punk. That was gonna be the shit. I was so excited for that, and we didn't get any of it because of all the dumb shit that went down.
Yes,
so, and
absolutely.
I think
You're completely right.
I think
and
we
I'm
missed
with you on that.
I think we missed that opportunity. I think we missed that. If he came back, I don't think it would be as impactful.
Nobody would care.
So it's like, what would they even do with him right now? It just,
you get couples counseling, and
I'll tell you the other thing though.
you take them and you look at them and you go, you four motherfuckers better never go near one another.
I'll tell you,
how this splits, but you guys go out there and wrestle and figure it out, because that's the only thing that's going to make us money, because nobody gives a shit about anything else until we get past this. And he has to do something with the Elite. That's the only thing that can happen.
That's what I was getting to. This is what I want to happen. He comes back around the same time as FTR gets done with their break, and they get the CM Punk FTR trio shit back together that they were gonna do but couldn't because he broke his foot, and they have that trios match with the Elite and FTR and CM Punk, and that can just have everything be resolved with that.
If we can all get along.
Exactly.
Okay, in the words of every Buddy Cop movie, you son of a bitch, I'm in. That sounds fantastic.
I would fucking love that.
I'm totally in for that. See, that's what you see. As much as I hate CM Punk right now, because he's done the same shit every time, to me, a lot of people would, and including me, would be one of those people where it's like, nah, if he put everything aside personally, and professionally went out there and had the matches with them, totally straight up, no bullshit receipts for anything in real life,
Yeah.
None of that, or maybe get it out if you have one match against somebody and it's one time and we're a little stiff. Fine.
Yeah.
But after that, show people that everybody's on the same page, wrestling to make the money. Everybody would look at that and go,
Like
"Oh,
that.
the ego's gone.
That would
The ego
be.
is gone from that."
Yeah.
And we can let him go and fight MJF.
That would
And then let him
absolutely
go and do
be.
that.
Yeah. That would be. I think that would be a way more pay-per-view marketable match than to just throw CM Punk right back in there with MJF immediately.
It would be immediately marketable.
Like fucking CM Punk and the Elite, and like in the same match at pay-per-view, like,
dude,
that's literally unthinkable. Everybody would fucking lose their mind.
It would be more FTR versus the Young Bucks, which is fun.
Yes.
It would be Kenny Omega with the Elite, and that's fun. And then you have the added thing of, well, you've got CM Punk guys that are still, cool with everybody, but they're now having to side with CM Punk against this. It's more money than God at that point would be.
If they could make
And
this
then that
happen,
would
it would be
also
the biggest thing
rehab-
ever.
It would rehab the people that don't like the Elite
Yeah.
think. They wanted the money, they put themselves aside for that, and they did it. It would rehab everybody that's looking at CM Punk going, what a dipshit. Every time he does this shit. And it would, like, for me especially, it'd be like, okay, I can at least trust him to wrestle. And that's all that I need from him. I don't need him to be a cool guy. I don't need him to be a nice guy. I just need him to wrestle and be able to do that and just be professional. That's all anybody ever wanted from him. And we didn't get that.
The promos that we could get between Omega and Punk leading up to this 6-man like trios tag match.
You have Omega, Punk. Not only leading up to that, you have FTR. They can kind of talk. We know the Young Bucks can talk.
And that's another thing that I wanted to mention.
Callis
was FTR. So like the FTR podcast is great. I love listening to Dex talk about fucking anything. I don't care if it's wrestling, tequila, or
it's kind of like listening to someone
for boner
really
pills.
Cool
He does those Blue Chew ads.
Of course he does.
It's like shit. I'll fucking listen to him talk about anything. But they talked about
your grandpa's boner pill.
I gotta include that clip in the.
Woo! This ain't your grandfather's boner pill.
That shit's
God,
funny.
I love it.
But they were talking about in I think it was like episode 4, or he was talking about that. It was brought up the Young Bucks and FTR thing about their matches, and there was a lot of frustration because at the time, like Tony Khan, when he brought in FTR, the idea was for the FTR was going to be like the guys, like the Bucks were, and they were going to be booked similarly, and that never really happened. And then you went through that whole phase of the Bucks being, they were basically the transitional tag team champions, and you had that whole thing where FTR won the AAA belts, then they won the New Japan belts, and then they won the Ring of Honor belts. They had all the belts, and we had this big thing that we could have set up at any fucking time for them to win those AEW titles and have all of the belts. And it would have been such the biggest, most awesome shit ever. And it was like, it is like the biggest missed opportunity in wrestling that I can think of in recent memory.
I agree.
Why the fact that they never did that, and they wouldn't have even had to have had them a long time, but like the fact that they had all of the other belts and they were literally on fire. They were the best tag team of the fucking year, right up there with the Briscoes. So it's like they could have done that so easily. But you had the Young Bucks being this transitional champion for a short bit, then you gave him to Swerve and Keith Lee. Like, I did like them, to be fair, together, but like, it just didn't make any sense. And now, and he talked about it's like that ship is sailed. Like that fire is gone. So even if they got that opportunity again, like it just wouldn't be the same, right?
No, it's past. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
is one of those things where it's always. I hate being like the philosophical thing on this because it sounds dumb, but you always hear people talking about lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're always continually trying
Mhm.
to chase that, and there's always somebody that's missing the mark. And I have to completely agree. It baffled me and confounded me. I just couldn't understand why we didn't just look and go, all right, give it to them because we need all the belts on them to make them look good.
Right. Like, they're already the most over tag team ever. And, like, what sucks about that as well is that was also the time period after all the shit with the Elite and Punk and everything was just kind of falling apart. So it's like, on top of everything else falling apart, they're booking the tag shit weird. It was like a really shit time, that several month stretch, like, after
It wasn't
all of that happened.
fun, that's for damn sure. I mean, that wasn't cool. Everybody kind of wanted him to have it. He just didn't pull the trigger. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any sense to me.
that was a very odd thing that just never happened. And, like, you know, they were the number one contenders for the tag titles forever. And I think they did get a shot at them, right? I think somewhat recently-ish, and lost.
Yeah.
But I think, as I said, they went against the Acclaimed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And they lost, but they lost because they were literally about to be taking a couple months off, and they were about they were about to drop all the other belts as well, so that they could do that.
Didn't that also have to do with the Guns as well? That was when they kind of got involved with that and gave them shit.
Could be. I mean, realistically, I think the Acclaimed and the Guns is a better feud than the Acclaimed and FTR.
No, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is that was when the Guns got involved with got re-involved with the Acclaim.
Yeah.
And everything is right after that because they also beat FTR on TV.
Yeah.
After that.
Which I guess that's a perfect transition over to the tag title match, which was it was a good match. Had some the great storytelling. The internet is just in flames. Nobody liked that the Guns
losing their shit over it, and so bad that Meltzer didn't even give it a rating. Seriously,
like I don't understand that. To me, like I feel like that was the time to do it. I think that was the time they had, especially with the shit going on, like with Billy Gunn. We've had some great segments with that. Like, I think that was a good time for them to take the titles. I don't think they'll have them like super long time.
They'll be transitional for sure.
And the Acclaim will absolutely have those belts again. Realistically, because there's not really anything else going on right now. We know that FTR is more than likely not going to be at Revolution because they're probably still going to be, taking a break. But we could literally run that match back again in some kind of, I don't know, ladder or hardcore or table or something, and have them take the titles back.
Idea. That sounds like a fantastic idea, actually. So I'm good with it. Give it back to them. Don't put them in a triple threat tag match, whatever.
Yeah. I thought that was just so strange to me that everybody was so upset about that. And I just thought it worked out perfectly.
It was really, really dumb. I don't know why everybody was upset. It was kind of a swerve, but it was fine. It was just like a shock at first. I get why when people get a shock like that, they get kind of defensive on the situation, so they like get upset about it. But for me, I was like, you know what? And don't hate this because honestly, Austin Colton are good. Like, they're good. The Guns are a good tag team. They're not like terrible. I mean, now they're annoying as piss, but they're good heels. Is what they are. Yeah. So that like honestly, that's fine.
The biggest crime, like, I don't think that was as big as a deal as when they let Keith Lee and Swerve retain over the Acclaimed after that amazing pay-per-view match. That match was literally the best match of the night, and they did not give it to the Acclaimed, and I
was
don't
upset
understand
about
why.
them retaining then as well.
Because then
think that should have been the moment.
We ended up having to have the repeat match, which was a fine match, but it was nowhere near as good as the pay-per-view match. And that match didn't need to happen. The titles should have changed hands at that amazing pay-per-view match, and it would have been way more impactful.
We didn't need to let Keith Lee and Swerve cook a little bit longer.
No,
we didn't need them to seethe a little bit longer. We all saw this happening from the very fucking beginning.
Yeah,
because that's Keith Lee's character and that's Swerve's character. That's what they always are. Swerve is a good heel. Keith Lee cannot be anything but an absolute babyface.
Yeah.
So that we all knew that that's what was going to happen. We all saw it coming. Why you need to let it cook a little bit longer in the oven to really get in there.
Yeah.
You didn't need it. You should have pulled the fucking trigger. It's fine. But we got a second match out of it that was not up to par to the first match and kind of disappointed everybody. But it was dumb. I think that was a bad idea too. I think this is the best thing because it was a surprise. And it was like, some people see it as a bad surprise. I thought it was a good surprise because it was like, wow, I was thinking that this was going to be another one where, spank their ass and send them back to the bottom of the card.
It wasn't just like it wasn't just like a normal match with a clean, where everything was clean either. Like there was shit that would happen.
There was fuckery, which is why you're able to get another couple matches out of it where Bowens and Castor can bitch about the whole situation and get back at Colton and Austin. So I mean that's fine. You can do all kinds of stuff. They're heels. There's supposed to be a little bit of fuckery, but like that's fine. We can do that. But it was again a surprise where it wasn't like, why didn't we get it wasn't we got no change, which would I actually think, man, thinking about it, if we just send Austin and Colton back down to the back of the card because they lost to Max and Anthony again.
Yeah.
That would be kicking their ass back to the bottom of the card. That's all that would be.
Yeah.
Come back up. That doesn't work when they sat there and had these interactions with their dad even.
Mm-hmm.
Just the shit that they've done, like that whole family, what was it? The family therapy promo. Like that whole segment was good. Why would you just kick them back down to the bottom of the card all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It makes more sense to let them hold on to it. Give Anthony Max, give the Acclaimed a thing to fight for because they got screwed over. Give them a reason to have tension with Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
And just give it a good go. And they can get it back in, like you said, a ladder match, no DQ, something.
Yeah. Like they could do a fucking banger match.
Dude, it could like I liked the match that they had that night. Like Wednesday, that was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
So like if they can pull that off on TV in 10 minutes, what if you're going to give them a little bit of extra time on a pay-per-view to do something fun? I'm sure that they can figure it out.
Right. Maybe
Colton and Austin aren't quite as athletic as Bowens and Castor, but like they're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
They're still super athletic, super good, and they come by it honestly. I guess sometimes you can pass wrestling down.
But yeah, that was a whole thing. It was definitely weird to see everybody so against it. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't think they'll have the belts for a super long time.
That I'm like weird about. The only tag team I can think of is a trios tag team. It's like, are we really sold on AR Fox, Dante Martin,
right?
Dante and Darius? Are we?
It doesn't matter how good they are and how great of a match they put on. Like no, like it who cares? Like
Top Flight is fine. I like Top Flight. They're cool. They do cool shit.
Yeah.
AR Fox can do some cool stuff, but I'm not sold on AR Fox and putting him with.
It's just it just feels like cobbled together shit.
It is. It's like that's not helping anybody. I'm sure that they're friends and that they actually did it in the Indies. I'm pretty sure they did in the Indies because I'm pretty sure AR Fox was on PGW with them. So I'm sure they did trios matches in the indies and shit, but it's just like it just doesn't feel right.
Well, that was the resolution of Dynamite.
Yep.
And then Rampage was mostly skippable.
Rampage.
Honestly.
It was Rampage.
It happened. It was there. The only thing that was really noteworthy of the night was the six-person tag, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian, which is again a very odd trio of people, but
okay.
It was fine. And then we had the Lee Moriarty and Orange Cassidy championship match, which Orange Cassidy retained. Again, it's fine.
Lee Moriarty was good. We had two in the middle.
Yeah, fucking
Ruby Soho
Jungle Boy just squashed Ryan Nemeth, poor Dolph Ziggler's brother.
He's really funny on being
the elite. I know.
promise.
I love him on
His
there.
girlfriend, the bits with his girlfriend calling him and telling him like what a piece of shit he is the best thing on that show. You really need to go to the doctor and get your hip fixed or something, because no human being walks like that, and we're all getting physically sick of watching you. It's like, what the fuck, dude? The meanest shit she says to him, and it's the funniest shit in the world. He's fun, but I don't know, man. They just keep messing with him because he's kind of a comedy gimmick, so you can get one over on him. But Ruby Soho and the unfortunate Marina Shafir. I don't think I've ever liked a Marina Shafir match.
She wouldn't wear shoes. I still am confused because
she doesn't wear shoes.
Like, I may have just never noticed it, but like,
no, I don't think you noticed it, but I don't think she's ever wore shoes.
Like, yeah, like, does she just not wear shoes, and I've just never seen?
Yeah, because it's part of the MMA gimmick for her,
right?
So,
but like, I feel like most of the MMA people they'll have like a foot wrap or like something. But she was just bare ass.
I don't know. What's his name?
Riddle.
Yeah, Matt Riddle doesn't.
Yeah,
he comes out in flip-flops.
Also, I just realized something. Did you know that Daniel Garcia is the pro wrestling gorilla champ right now?
I was gonna mention that, but I didn't say anything.
I did not know that was a thing.
Champ? What the fuck?
I had no idea. I don't know when that happened, but
at a PWG show, nobody knew when that happened. It's PWG. I mean, they have great matches, but nobody sees them.
But as far as the promos and segments and whatnot went on Rampage, we had a full-blown Impractical Jokers segment.
God,
they come out with video and everything else. They steal Chris Jericho's bat, and they keep talking about how it's Chris Jericho's like little bat, his small bat. It's just the whole thing was so weird, and then they all come out there. And they lay
Can we be fair though? The Impractical Jokers are right. Floyd is kind of a small bat.
Yeah.
It's like a children's aluminum bat, I'm pretty sure. That they spray painted black.
It was Q and Murr, that's who it was. Q gets laid on the table, and then Murr gets powerbombed into Q through the table. It's like,
okay.
It's like, is this really something that we're doing on AEW TV?
I forgot about that. So guess what? I don't hate it as much anymore because I remember that now. I didn't hate it. I hated everything leading up to that, but the fact that they let the powerbomb happen, that's an instant win for me. It's fine.
What would be even better is if that was like a secret Impractical Jokers episode and they didn't know that was going to happen. They're sitting back there. It's like, all right, now what you need to do is powerbomb them through the table.
Okay, you know what?
That would make it even better.
That's kayfabe what happened for me now. I'm believing that, and it's going to show up in the next season or in the next episode. It's fine. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. Can we talk about the Ruby Soho Marina Shafir thing for a second?
Because all I can think about is the no shoes.
Well, nobody wanted to see her feet. They're not nice. They're kind of weird and long looking. But anyways, no, because that was when we got the weird segment with like her in the ring and like fucking was it Tony
Tony Storm and Saraya
coming out,
eels?
and then Jamie Hayter and fucking Britt Baker coming out, and Ruby Soho's just standing in the ring staring at everybody going, what the fuck are you idiots doing?
I feel like we've got like this weird flip-flop going on.
Well, what we have is an invasion gimmick going on. And what we're getting is both sides trying to kind of tug at Ruby, because Ruby is from WWE, but Ruby also got screwed by WWE in a lot of people's estimations. So they kind of don't see her as WWE, or they're not supposed to see her as WWE. They see her as also AEW. That's where she got the real big pop. So I guess that's kind of what they're going for, and I guess it works. I just don't know what the whole point of this is, what we're leading up to at this point. I don't know where it's going. Is this going to be ultimately like Saraya versus somebody when they finally go to the UK and winning? Is that what we're planning? Because I've heard that was something that
maybe at the pay-per-view we'll have Saraya and Tony Storm versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter with Ruby Soho as a special guest referee.
Okay, Vince.
When in doubt, special guest referee.
Yeah, but isn't the special guest referee required to be Kurt Angle at this point?
That's true. That's true.
Special guest referee, it's Kurt Angle, isn't it? How did you know? It's like law. I don't know, man. Either him or what's his name? God, why do I forget his name? Mankind. What's his name?
Yeah, Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. It's got to be Mick Foley or Kurt Angle. Those are the only two options for special guest referee.
Dustin Rhodes, as I was saying earlier, it was announced that Dustin Rhodes was going to be speaking at Rampage. So my mind was, okay, well, this is going to be he's going to go out the ring and we're going to hear a retirement speech. What happened instead is, I guess, Dustin Rhodes is going to fuse with Swerve, and then he gets jumped backstage by the two
Bash Brothers,
the two goons, Takeshi 6ix9ine and Scary Man, whatever the hell their names are.
Parker Boudreaux and that guy that literally nobody knows about.
And he gets jumped backstage. That shit is so weird to me. I don't understand that at all.
It's a weird option.
Like, what are we doing with this? Like, I'm pretty sure Dustin Rhodes is probably he's about to retirement time for sure. And like, is this how we're gonna do it?
Talked about these are the last couple of years,
right? So like, is this how we're gonna do this? We're gonna go out with Swerve?
I don't think that'll be the last one.
Oh, I don't think it will either. But like, it's just, I don't know.
You know what the last will be is if Cody never goes back to AEW. If he stays in WWE, he'll get a release to go work one last match with. Well, Cody
but I feel like we already had so many. They've had that match.
Well, they've had that, but that will be the last one.
Yeah,
is what that will be. That will be why it's special. It will be a last thing. I think that's what they will do, and I think that everybody involved would be like, "Yeah, let it happen. It's fine." So I don't think that it'll be his last for a little while. He doesn't have much longer. I think it was either, he said like a year, 2 years. Yeah. Maybe. So I don't think we have much longer with Dustin Rhodes.
We'll probably start seeing him more throughout this year as he wraps up his time.
Kind of going, getting the stuff out of his system, getting it done, doing more dates just to push to the end and feel like everything was fulfilled and you did a lot of, cool stuff at the end. That way you go out with a bang. It's sad because honestly, I kind of missed out on Dustin as Goldust because I thought Goldust was a weird and stupid gimmick.
Goldust was weird and stupid, but it was awesome.
It was awesome, and I didn't know that. I just saw the weird and stupid, and I didn't realize it was funny and fun. And he's a fantastic wrestler because I didn't know at the time that it was fucking Dusty Rhodes' kid. that never entered my brain on who he was because I didn't know. I just knew him as Gold Dust.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, it's Dusty Rhodes' kid, and he's every bit the Natural. He's that.
Yeah.
That's why he's called that. He never needed his dad to do anything for him because he was that good.
Random side note. I didn't realize that Scorpio Sky and Brandy Rhodes are cousins. That means Cody Rhodes is related to Scorpio Sky by marriage.
Okay, I didn't know that either until right now. Like, that's new for me.
I did not know that was a thing.
That's cool.
No idea that that was a thing.
That's funny. That's no wonder they always did all the Elite stuff all together. Anyways, that's funny. Dude, that's stuff you got to do. You got to go back and watch old Elite episodes, being the Elite episodes.
Yeah, I need to go
all
back
the shit
and
that they
binge
did
watch
with,
the old stuff.
Dude, all the stuff that they did with Flip Wilson in ROH when they were doing those segments,
yeah,
hilarious. The episodes where what is it that Cody gets possessed by a smart demon who's all he's doing is referencing old shit from the Federation.
Yeah.
And like he has to get they perform an exorcism and the person leading the exorcism is Christopher Daniels as the powers that be.
Oh, fuck.
It's the fucking best, dude. It's the Fallen Angel, that's his name. Fallen Angel Christopher Angel was doing the exorcism. It's the best. Because they think he's got just the normal gimmick that he always has through the show, which he can sense when money happens. When there's money around, he gets the money shakes. Oh man, I got the money shakes. We're gonna make a lot of money here. It's great.
The last thing that kind of happened was the Mark Briscoe promo, which was it was funny and great. But I think the exciting part was the fact that his ass was on TV again. That's
he was
2
on
times.
TV speaking. He was on TV speaking in a
speaking.
promo to other people in AEW, other people that are signed to AEW.
So like
they're setting up a match.
Right. So I think
AEW.
I think we're finally at that point where they're gonna let it happen. I think Mark's gonna be able to be on AEW TV now.
Fucking sucks that it had to be because his brother's dead.
I know.
It's the biggest piece of shit move in the entire world that happened.
Yeah.
And I
hope
everything involved with that part of it.
I hope every single one of those motherfuckers feel like complete fucking garbage for the rest of their lives.
Shit right now because not only did they pop a rating, not only did they pop a fucking crowd, they still have momentum off of it, and everybody already loved the man. Why are we not allowing at least him on TV anyways?
Yeah. I wonder what they're going to do with the titles, though. I assumed when they talked that they were going to vacate them on TV, but that's not what happened.
They're probably going to vacate, or he's going to find somebody to do it with for a while to lose them.
Dude, they could get Jay Lethal.
I think he and Jay Lethal should do a couple tag team matches where they find a good tag team to take it off of them. Or, you know who could take it off of them in a tag team like that? FTR when they come back.
Dude, Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe versus FTR.
That would be good.
God damn, that'd be great.
That would be the best. It would be so good, and it would be a great way for them to drop it, and a good team for them to drop it to. It really would. Yeah. So I think that would be a good idea.
And this is the Ring of Honor shit is so weird.
I forgot Athena was ROH World Champion. What the fuck? Why don't I see more Athena?
I'm still mad that she was not the TBS champion.
I am pissed off about that.
She should have been the one to end Jade Cargill's streak. And the fact that shit is still going is just ass.
You want to know the thing about the ROH roster right now is it is mostly AEW people, but that's just because those are the people that are obviously there all the time. Yeah. The rest of ROH is basically comprised of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and New Japan. So, and what is it? CMLL? Is that the other one that they're partnered with?
I think realistically the only people on the Ring of Honor roster are literally just the people that were either already on Ring of Honor, like the 4 people I was talking about, or well, Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe also, but everybody else on that roster is literally either people who have recently held the championship or currently holding the championship.
Yes, because I mean, what are you going to do with it? You have a brand at this point. What are you going to do?
The brand is weird because I almost feel like at this point it would just be better to have the brand as an archive than to have it as its own show, unless they're going to have its own roster.
Well, I think the problem with that is that they don't have a show for it.
Right.
They don't. So,
but if they have a show for it, I feel like they need more new people so that we're not just watching AEW people.
But that's the point. That's why we're in the situation we're in right now.
Yeah.
If you look at where it was before, like right as they got bought, there was still a bunch of people that were there that were trying to do shows and do Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of them left, and for good reason. They're not going to get used. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't have a deal. They don't have a place to go. There's nothing that they can do. Now we have Ring of Honor World or World of Honor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The
Honor Club.
Honor Club. That's what it is. Fucking dumb bullshit.
I just like because we're getting
New Japan
these,
World. That's where I'm getting that.
We're getting these Ring of Honor like shows like every few months, and then it just feels like the titles for Ring of Honor are just like a shitty like consolation extension of titles to people that they don't know what the fuck to do with.
I get that. I mean, I think that's what they're being used as right now. Unfortunately,
it's just like Athena. Like Athena's the women's champion because we can't take the belt off Jade Cargill because we've got to have this streak going on for fucking ever, and we don't want to take the belt off Jamie Hayter because Jamie Hayter's already doing shit with other people.
Here's the problem. I think that they're using things wrong.
Yeah.
I think that there's a way to structure things, and I don't want to use the phrase, but I'm going to use it anyways. Developmental.
Yeah.
That word. But we have 2 shows on YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
Why not put Ring of Honor on YouTube?
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, and I think that would be a great idea. Get rid of the dark
NWA
shit and literally just label it as Ring of Honor.
NWA has NWA Power that they run on YouTube.
Just call it AEW Ring of Honor. If they have to. If they want to keep the name for
it Ring of Honor on the AEW channel. That's all you have to do.
Well, I'm just saying if there's something involving where they want to use the name for search optimization or whatever, they could at the very least they could just do it AEW Ring of Honor. And that would solve that problem.
Yeah, All Elite Wrestling presents Ring of Honor.
Right.
That's what it is. And that works. I like that. Use it. Because I mean,
treat Ring of Honor like NXT.
Well, sort of. I mean, here's the deal. Actually, yeah, that's perfect right now. What you need to do, and I hate to do that because Ring of Honor means something, but let it mean something like that. Let a bunch of indie people come through
because there's so many people
because they do that anyways on Dark.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of indie people that run through and have good matches, and sometimes they end up going to AEW or going and doing something. That's fine. Let random indie people come onto Ring of Honor and do stuff. That's kind of what Ring of Honor was anyways.
I'm just kind of annoyed that we're
thing, but it had other people that were out there, and you just do that. It can mean something still. It could be where you find these other matches. Extend how long the show is on YouTube and just have a consistent one for that. People will watch that.
Yeah. I'm annoyed that it's like they're teasing everybody with this shit. They gave the world title to Chris Jericho, and I was like, okay, well they're doing this as an effort to build up Ring of Honor so that they can unveil their own show and then start focusing specifically on the Ring of Honor talent on its own thing. And Chris Jericho had that run, and then it ended, and then Claudio took the belt back, and then nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. It just vanished to dust. It doesn't make any sense.
That's the problem, is it did kind of vanish. I think that what I kind of think was happening is he was looking at stuff going, hey, I need to get some sort of TV deal for it.
Yeah.
I need to get a place to go for TV. That's what he's thinking.
It has to be. That has to be
fair.
the thing at this point.
But
like he's got to wait. He's waiting for a TV deal to do stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's waiting for TV, and a lot of those people that were there before are gonna get a call as soon as he's got TV.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, "Hey, you need a place. You want a place to go?" But I feel like that's less than helpful, because what you could do at that point is just have them as making a lot of dates at some central location, kind of like the NXT idea, like we were talking about, and just come on there, and you can rotate those people through all the way through. And it could be a situation where it's like, I need to go off TV, but I need to work some dates. I need to, I can make a little money working the dates here and doing that, and that's fine. And then we can rotate me back to the but at the same time, they're doing house shows now. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
You see that? So I don't know what you're gonna do.
Dude,
You're running house shows, you're running
doesn't
dark
make any
shows. Are they gonna
sense.
put house shows on dark? Maybe brand
like,
those Ring of Honor house shows.
Like, because I don't know how much. Was it ever said how much he paid for Ring of Honor?
That I don't think that was disclosed as far as I know.
Right,
but
I don't think it was
Maybe
either.
I don't. If it was, I didn't pay attention to it. So I don't know.
It says less than $4 million. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything any more specific.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. For where they were at, they were already closing, so they were just looking to pick up the debt at that point. Yeah.
So it's like, surely, I can't imagine that he's just killing it off of like Honor Club subscriptions. I'm sure he's making some money, but like,
no,
especially if we're not getting anything new, and then we got all the titles and blah. I don't know. It's just weird.
I think that this was also a play just to make sure that the tape library didn't turn up anywhere that you didn't.
That didn't. Right. That's also true.
And it was there available for a lot of people, and not in the fucking Peacock app.
Yeah. Also,
That's what was gonna end up happening.
random note. I just realized Damian Priest was in Ring of Honor, and his name was Punishment Martinez. That is the worst name I have ever seen. Punishment Martinez. What the fuck kind of name is that?
Ew. Well, that's all I can think. Like, that's the only thing. It's, ew. Why?
That's just such a dumb name.
I mean, at least Seth Rollins' name was Tyler Black.
Instead of Colby Garcia.
Colby Garcia.
I still kills me every time I think about that.
Colby Garcia is the funniest.
He doesn't
name
look
for
anything
him.
like
I'm
a Colby
sorry.
Garcia.
I look at him and I don't go.
Vince McMahon
Hey,
picked a better
Colby,
name for
what's
him
up?
than his mother did.
Hey, Colby, how you doing? Fucking Colby Garcia. Is that the name that you expected for fucking Becky Lynch to be shouting out in bed? Oh, Colby. Oh, Colby. Like, no, nobody expected that one.
Dude, another thing that I've noticed here lately, and they're still not doing it right, is Brian Pillman Jr. They have finally redid his look, and they're pairing him with Brock Anderson finally, like they
Okay.
should have done forever ago. And
Yeah.
they're starting that. They've been doing that on the Indies for a while. AEW hadn't been doing it, but they've been doing it on the
Oh,
Indies. And I
problem.
don't know if it was in dark or what, but like they've started that, and then they continue to use Brian Pillman Jr. as the squash match guy.
Well,
And it just drives me insane.
hurt.
He's one of those guys that I don't
Really?
like. This is a bad comparison, but like Matt Cardona, where it's like he did shit in like the big shit and like didn't really amount to a whole lot. Then he fucking killed him in the Indies, and then Brian Pillman's kind of the same thing, just on a way lesser level. Where like his
Yeah.
AEW is just nothing, but his cool shit is when he goes and does the Indies. His AEW still has him with fucking Jungle Boy 2. What's his name? Griff Garrison, that guy.
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Like
That's my favorite thing.
They still
That was
have
my
him with
favorite
him,
piece of it.
and I'm like, why? Let's just kill that completely and be done with it. We don't need it anymore.
Look, Brody, we finally got Jungle Boy. All right, yeah, let's see it. That's not Jungle Boy. What? Yeah, it is. No, it's Griff Garrison. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? This is the best.
All right, but that's gonna be it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. This is what, episode 3? Is
Yes.
this the third one? This is the third episode.
Yeah, the third.
We're gonna try to keep doing this weekly, unless we
Yep.
miss a week like we did last week.
It couldn't be helped. There was so much, man.
And yeah, and then I'm gonna try to have some more other random videos and whatnot up on the channel as well. So if you've not liked the video, you should definitely do so. If you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should definitely do so. If you're listening on Spotify, you should follow the podcast on Spotify. If you didn't know that the podcast was on Spotify, you should go and follow the podcast on Spotify. And yeah, that's gonna wrap shit up. Thank you guys all for watching. Peace out. Take it easy. Have a good one. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.